lowering and lowering and lowering my stuff until I gave up and we went to Discord. I think we're live now, maybe. Yeah.
Hello out there in internet land.
Yeah.
So we are live now. I should begin my usual intro. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our third attempt at the first episode of the fourth season of Second Sons. As always, I am Roy Rogers, formerly of the New York City Meta, currently the Philadelphia Meta, and I'm going to recycle a joke from my previous introduction, which is saying now that it's 2019, yes, 2019, we've been doing this for 4 years, I should probably ditch the formerly of the New York City Meta part because I've been playing out of Philadelphia longer than I played this game out of New York at this point. So I am joined, as always, by my loyal co-host from the White Book, Aaron Glazer, who is not forgiven in 2019 and does not get to speak during this segment. And I am joined as well by Sandy Barnabas. How you doing, Sandy?
I'm doing well.
Today, I like the shade, by the way.
This is I think this is literally called fire in my themes. But yeah,
it's lit.
Today is my first day as father of a teenager. So I think that makes me metaphorically the oldest.
Was your son born on New Year's?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Easy to remember.
Yeah.
And we are joined as well by Chris, still champion of my heart. Showenthal, how you doing, Chris?
Doing well, thanks.
Happy anniversary. And Sid, how are you?
I'm good. The oft-absent Sid has returned. Great with his presence once again.
He does exist.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Despite me having time off at the break, it's been really busy. We've been traveling a lot, so yeah, back home and looking forward to kind of getting back into the swing of things.
Are you back at work tomorrow?
No. A week from yesterday.
What? I'm so jealous.
I'm so jealous. The disadvantage of having to go to Virginia for 6 days is I feel like I didn't have a break. So,
yeah.
But anyway, that's my personal life moral quandaries and sadness is not really what this episode's about. This episode is instead going to be about the end of the Shadow Cycle. Yes, the Shadow Cycle is over. We are now in our new Squid Overlord lifestyle. Greyjoy has arrived. To quote Sean Emberley, they have made the Iron Islands great again. And we'll get to that at the end of the episode where we talk about the Greyjoy box. But first, Aaron Glazer did the great prep work of going through and finding out all of the Shadows cards to make this discussion easier. So we are going to go and jump headfirst into discussing the impact of the Shadow Cycle. Glazer, where do we want to start?
So what do you guys think is the most overperforming card of the cycle? A card that when it was released, people didn't think was that great, but over time have determined is OPAF.
That's a lot of letters. OPAF.
I think it's
this podcast is usually
that's the card we're talking about, right?
This podcast is usually OPFU. Good. Sorry, Sandy. What actual content?
Yeah, we're talking about Beneath the Bridge of Dream, right? That is the most underrated card. Overperforming.
It's 100% Queensguard. Queensguard flew under the radar and then kind of became a big thing in the fall.
Mm-hmm. It works so well on so many characters.
It's not Pinch of Powder.
Oh, but did people think Pinch of Powder was...
No, Pinch of Powder was good the moment people laid eyes upon it.
I think Pinch of Powder was properly rated.
Okay.
How about Old Bill Bone, who went from whatever to one in every goddamn deck?
It's pretty good.
I have yet to see it ever in the wild.
Really? Oh man,
I've seen it plenty.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had my house
play
out by it.
I'm one of those fools that play it, but I never feel that great about playing it. I'm just like,
here Glazer and I did a game on Sunday that Old Bill Bone smashed a Lannister player in the face.
I can imagine them smashing Lannister, but how many people are worried about Lannister these days?
Sure, but Sea of Blood and Assault from the Shadows. And Assault from the Shadows, it's really annoying when they go first and pop them out of shadows, and you're like, oh. Well,
Wildlings.
Free Folk is the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He's a good card.
Yeah,
Screws up
he's a reasonable
Draw,
Chud.
screws up Iron Bank. He's a really good Chud.
I mean,
Thank God he's unique.
And
we
an
actually,
intro
I
deck.
think we've
Yeah.
covered this kind of topic before, which is that as the game matures, factional becomes more and more important, and the cost of a factional like is much more relevant. Like when the game started, fealty was like obvious, like the biggest thing you could do for factional. Now there are so many powerful effects with it. So yeah, I mean, I think it has potential. I don't know that it's there yet, though.
Oh, I think it does.
I think it is with wildlings and assault running around.
Wildlings
lot.
Assault Sea of Blood. It's literally
Sea of Blood as
three
well, yeah.
of like 6 or 7 most popular agendas.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not the thing that bothers me about Old Bill Bone is that it's not a repeatable effect. It's a one-time effect.
So you got to bring him
can-
out on. You got to bring him out on a withering cold turn, so you get 2 turns out of it.
Nice. I
There
mean,
you go.
Yeah.
it's a skill play, right? Like it's a.
Oh, maybe
when-
that's
when
why I don't like it. You can't just dumbly do it every turn.
I think the opportunity cost is really low for Old Bill Bone.
Yeah.
I think this is what Glazer and I talked about in our white book review of it, which is that like a 2-for-2 red and green icon is just fine. Like all decks need cards that basically have that stat line and strength ratio on a icon. And so just making yours be an answer to 3 or 4 of the most powerful agendas and maybe 6 or 7 of the most powerful plays in the game right now is really useful. So I think that, and I think people did underappreciate him, but I still don't think they underappreciated as much as they did Queen's Guard. Like Queen's Guard really flew under the radar. Which
I will say, I
discard
think the
cards
Old
tend to
Bill
do.
Bone is super good in melee because it's every opponent,
Every player, yeah.
which is
Most important format.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I really like On a Misty Morn. That card is straight up good.
Yeah,
I've never
that's
actually seen it played.
It's
so.
when your Greyjoy opponent is just like, oh, by the way, I have 2 more cancels. You just want to cry.
Yeah.
it's also a song. I mean, if that matters to you.
Oh yeah, wait, then that's not true. Our opponent did play that card against us, Glazer, on Sunday, and they stood 1 character with it. Yes, they still lost that game with Thomas Summons.
Little Tom
Old
combo.
Tom. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so I guess we want to go into most overrated Shadows card then.
No, well, card that has underperformed starting from what we assumed it would be. Indaz Next Pit. Oh.
Yeah.
Indaz Next Pit is mine. I thought Indaz Next Pit was going to change the game.
A lot of
It's,
people did. Like we were planning the world's meta was going to be Daz Next Pit or bust, and then it just wasn't at all.
Right.
It's
I think-
really hard to pull off.
Am I the only one that's used it to place highly at any tournament?
I'm sure there's somewhere in Europe probably that
I
somebody else
mean,
did it.
I did it in Europe. Like,
Yeah, well, but I meant another European.
I think by the end of the cycle, I had pretty high hopes for Cersei, but she just never got there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's going to take a while, I think, still for her to get there. And then even after that, I'm not confident she ever gets there. Like, will I ever want to play her over Big Cersei? Maybe not.
I'm not even
It
sure
might
she's
just never
better than 4-cost Cersei. Is she better? Like,
yeah, I don't think.
sure
No,
that
the
she's
thing
better
is,
than
like,
4-cost Cersei?
there's very specific decks where 4-cost Cersei is better than Big Cersei, but there's no decks where this Cersei is better than Big Cersei. Like, it still doesn't
Right.
exist. Big Cersei is still better in the decks where you would put this Cersei in. Big Cersei is still better. So it's just like it doesn't. It's not there. It's not.
I mean,
there yet. He doesn't even have a niche yet.
I don't think that that's necessarily true because we don't know what cycle 6 is. That what the next one is?
Well, I know we're talking currently. Like
Right. Currently, I totally agree. But you said there will never be like we don't know.
Well,
this
I'm not
drop
confident
thing.
that there will be.
Well, I agree, but we don't know like what Danny's going to push with Shadows in the new cycle. So there could be some Shadows economy, some way to dump, like to make it even easier for Lannister to return cards back into Shadows, and even larger reward for that. We don't know right now. Cersei, I think, was a big flop, and I definitely agree. But I think she's still open ended enough that it could, at the end of the Shadows block, there could be a single a Lannister Shadows deck that is like if Lannister gets some
I don't
draw
think
or
so.
something out of Shadows.
The concern is that she like she's at best discarding 3 cards a turn, right? Like, and that's
Right.
really expensive. Like, seriously, insanely expensive. And then you have to have 3 cards in shadows regularly, and like, how often is that happening?
Well,
No matter what's printed.
It's
Yeah,
not
her,
that
like her
expensive
max
because
potential is just not that interesting.
what? You guys high.
I mean,
so why Buzz? Why is Cersei what has all this upside?
I mean, the Lanny Kraken deck, sure, it's bad right now. It needs more support, but I mean, it's almost there. If it has some way to win faster, I mean, it crushes its game. It just doesn't win in 55 minutes.
You mean like
Wait,
Big
can I-
Cersei, a way to win faster?
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
but,
that's what I mean.
but
Like,
Big Cersei
no-
doesn't make. She puts a clock on your opponent, right?
Right.
But it doesn't
So-
do anything for the board state. While Cersei does. She fucks with your opponent's hand, makes so
Right.
that they're down to 0 cards, and then you start pushing back. Get to
I
0
think the not
cards.
dealing does something to the board state.
in the time that you can get them to 0 cards in hand, you could have just already won the game. Like I'm with Sid on this. Like, there's no deck that is not improved by swapping this Cersei for Big Cersei.
Okay, no, you're wrong. Oh my god. Oh,
Like,
no.
I
What?
mean, like, literally take that, make that the only change in the deck, and play against decks, and there are games where you would have lost that you now win.
7 cost Cersei is a weird card, right? Because it's extremely powerful, but she really hasn't shown up consistently in any deck besides the Rush deck, right? I mean, most
that's
other.
because Lanny doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, I
Besides
but I
that.
agree with you. But even
I mean,
but
she's
even
in-
when that. Oh, go ahead,
She's
sorry.
in all Lanny decks that have big guys, except
Yeah.
that there is only one that's competitive and that's crossing.
Yeah, well,
Right, she'd be in other decks.
She would be,
But-
yeah.
well, but she wasn't in Lanny Reigns during the Lanny Reigns like
What?
dominance.
Yes,
I
she
mean,
was.
at least the ones I played against a lot of Lanny
Okay,
Reigns that
sure.
summer, and
Uh,
maybe 1 out of every 4 or 5 of those decks had that Cersei, and they were
That
usually the
seems-
ones I
that
was able to
seems
beat.
really bad.
Yeah, that seems crazy. Like,
Yeah.
No, but
crazy East
I'm just
Coast
saying.
sensibilities.
Maybe.
I can agree that she doesn't have the support she deserves right now. But to say that it's just not a card that can fit in a deck or does, I mean,
I don't know. As everyone's draw just increases tenfold, like, there's just so much draw now. It's you can spend 3 rounds and you're like, gotcha to 0, and then like, oh, okay, you're back to 5. All right, here we go. Let's get back on this train. Like, that's the thing. It's so hard to keep someone at 0. Like, she can get someone to 0 if you put all your attention on it, but keeping them there is so difficult in this game right now. There's so much draw.
so,
Easy
just
draw.
So what I
one
like
Marine
with
and
like
one Marine
Martel
and you're sad,
Kraken
right?
and Lanny Kraken is you get them to 0, they draw up. You go to marshalling, they have 0 cards.
How do they have 0 in marshalling for Lanny Kraken?
Coastal Reaver and Nighttime Marauders.
Okay. Nighttime
Well,
Marauders, you
also-
better get lucky with
so
that
the-
number.
so-
But sure.
So the way
No,
to beat
so what you do is you choose the card that
Goes on top
that
of the
that
deck,
is
and then
their
you know what
out.
they draw.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
you can put stuff on the top as well, but with it's Mokoro, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
But would you pick whatever is their out? If their out is okay, they play Big Wick. Okay, we choose a 7 coster. Okay, he doesn't have Big Wick, or if he has it, he discards it. Stuff like that. The Lanny Kraken is really hard to play, but if you can find a version that wins within 55 minutes, it will be an
Yeah, that's the real
insane
trick.
deck.
That is the real trick.
But
There's
none of that
no
helps you
clock
win
in
the
that
game.
deck.
So the way
the
to beat
opponent having
It
0
helps
cards
you win the
is a
game, but it
great
doesn't
way.
advance your win condition. Those are different things.
Right.
Like,
Right, what Chris said exactly. Because then, like, neither does Ward, right? Like, unless you grab them with power. Like, sure.
Well, no, Ward gives you a character to do challenges with. Like, I think that's a much easier. Like, the resource denial, which is I think what the theme of that deck is, just doesn't work well in Thrones. Like, I think Thrones is designed to not have scenarios where your opponent is powerless, like to do stuff like that. You can't do choke effectively, and you can't do hand denial effectively. And I think that's why it's so hard to build a deck that does that.
I mean,
I think we should table this because this discussion is like
Yeah.
a gigantic
Very in the
rabbit
weeds.
hole of like a lot of things about fundamental thrones design that we could literally spend the next 2 hours talking about. But so we should probably table it and move on. So why don't we look a little bit at the big neutral cards? So we wouldn't be doing the cycle justice if we didn't talk about pinch. So Sandy, since I interrupted you to end that last discussion, why don't you start us off? How do you feel about pinch of powder?
Well, I mean, I know Lucas, whom the card is designed, who designed the card originally in 1.0 when it was kind of garbage. So I think that I like
no kind of. It was proxy.
I think that biases me towards the card in 2.0 because I did not think it was that good until I had it used repeatedly on me. Yeah, I think like even without the interaction with what is that, the Greyjoy card, it's
Raider.
still pretty
Raider.
decent. Like it's
Raider.
decent. And the interaction with Raider just makes it a no-brainer to include, and it comes back to your hand. It's not terminal. Like it's just, God, it's terrible. But I think it's like I don't think it's unbalanced. I just think it's mean.
I think the Raider interaction is unbalanced.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine without the stupid. You can do it for 0.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The card is a very well designed removal card, except if you can get it for free.
Well,
Like,
and
then
the
it's
game's
just-
like it. You're all okay
Yeah.
with it being an ambush with Greyjoy like that. It's just the cost that bothers you.
If
'Cause I think
it were ambush
you know,
3, if it were
Yeah.
ambush 3,
or
Like,
ambush
ambush
two.
you-
one
Even
would
ambush
be
one.
too little, too few.
Oh,
ambush
yeah.
1 would
yeah.
be too little. Yeah.
Ambush one is still better because your opponent can be representing it to you, and you can be like, okay, they have
Right.
1 gold. I need to play around this. Rather not, they have a card in their hand and a Raider out. It's like
Yeah.
how do
Or
like
2 cards.
or
you-
2 cards. Then it's guaranteed they have it. Like
Yeah,
if it's 1
also-
card, it's 50-50. 2, it's guaranteed every time.
Well, other thing, it should absolutely be unique. I don't know why a pinch of powder would be unique.
Pinch
but, like,
unique? Oh, come on.
it should
Let's not
absolutely
neuter
be
it.
unique. How does that neuter? Dude,
Unique
getting off-
ambush 3.
There's only one pinch of powder in the entire kingdom. That doesn't mean
There's that's what I said.
Separate
I don't
But here-
care about
By
Very
that
that.
reasoning,
specific
wards
then.
shouldn't be unique.
Here's
either.
the thing. It doesn't need to be unique if you've got to pay a gold for it to come out of shadows. It only has to be unique because you don't have to pay anything to do it. Like
So it's the Raider. The Raider is really the issue. It's interaction
Yes.
with the Raider.
Yes.
You guys are fine with the card if there was no Raider.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it doesn't see play if there's no Raider. To be honest,
Doesn't see play. I
That's
just
You know
That's
what
real.
deck
It
it
sees
sees
play
plays
now.
in? Lanny
Lanny
Kraken. Yeah.
It also it's in a few,
Can
fair
somebody
few
just-
Martell shadows, a fair few Target shadows. It's a good card in like the shadows deck. It's a good card
Yeah.
in a shadows deck. Not every deck that you can throw this random schmuck shot into.
It saw play
people are
in,
still throwing
in
crappy
István's
cards just
Kings
to
of
get the shadows
Summer
back.
that made second at Dalek. It was a key thing in there. He played double, I think, exchange.
Yeah.
Maybe one. I don't know. Either way.
No one exchange, I think.
it's an
guess I see-
extremely powerful removal card.
Yes.
And so there's going to be decks that want it. And like I know you're giving Buzz a hard time about the Lanny Kraken thing, but Lanny Kraken needs some tool to convert its to destroy its opponent's tempo to the point in which hand destruction matters, right? And the biggest tempo play in the game is pinch, right?
Or
Like-
Catspaw.
Or Catspaw. But
Wait,
Catspaw costs you gold.
Catspaw's
Right
so
now-
expensive.
right now,
It's incredibly
you-
expensive.
Wait. What about the best kill spell in the game? We
Cats.
can't-
Yeah, hold on. The biggest
Come on,
tempo
yeah, come
play in the
on,
game
come
right
on.
now is
It's 0. It costs 0. You still have to pay 1 gold for tiers.
Tears.
All right. It is the best.
Not
If you've got
you're-
a Raider, it's the best tempo in the game. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
well, technically you're paying 2 for it at that point, right? Like it's just,
Ah, now
And
maybe
Put
it's
to
not.
the best tempo in the game.
actually.
But
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't lose.
Tiers
and
is
cards.
limit 1 per
No,
challenge.
you have
right?
to
And-
have 2 cards.
You have to have 2 cards, but you don't lose a card. Like when you play tiers, you can't play tiers again.
Right.
No, but Tears is great. You have to put,
It's great.
put
I'm not-
a Greyjoy card in your deck. That hurts your soul.
It's because Greyjoy is
That's
the
a
worst
very
house.
specific point.
I think
All right,
we all agree that Greyjoy is the single worst house.
Yes.
Like they may be the best house,
Easily.
but they're the least fun house. They're just
Yes.
so boring and random.
I mean, it is fun to pinch people. Like I'm not
Yes, out of line Kraken.
opposed to pinching folks. Like it's good times bouncing their giant characters that they invested heavily
Yeah,
in.
and then
It's pretty
Sid
fun.
got, and then
With
Sid
your,
got me to it.
Andy's angrily replying in the chat, but not on.
What
the
is he
chat.
angrily?
He says that Martell is the least fun house, and he wants to fight.
He's
That's
smart enough not to say
objectively
that here.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not brave enough to say it out loud.
outnumbered.
I kind of
Yeah.
enjoy pillaging, also, guys. Like I'll admit it. It's kind of.
Oh.
That's why you play Land of
Gross.
Greensight.
pillage is
Pillage
pillage is just too random. I hate.
I know, but
the-
that's kind of fun. I dig it.
I mean,
we had enough randomness with intrigue.
Yep.
Like we've all lost games on like that 1 in like 9 intrigue pull, and you're just like, holy shit! I just needed that one goddamn card. I've been planning this for 3 turns. Like that's enough randomness. Like, oh, it's my deck, and there's nothing I can do except win 3 challenges every turn is dumb.
but pillage is fun. Sid is right. Pillaging things, that's fun. The problem is that it's
No.
now competitive.
Amazingly boring. I completely. Yeah, if it was terrible, it'd be fine. But it's always been competitive because Euron's a sick card.
I don't think I've triggered the. Okay, no, that's not true. I was gonna say I've not triggered the pillage keyword in the game, but I've actually played a lot of Gregor. So
Uh-huh.
never mind.
Oh yeah.
Hey, wait a second.
Gregor
Turning
Gregor single-handedly won me Paris. So
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
Never
All
mind.
right. So
That's a
what
big
else?
pillage.
What else stands out to us from the neutral cards? I mean, I think Glazer's favorite card, Varys, probably deserves a little bit of
Wait,
discussion.
he's not my favorite card. I don't even especially like Varys. I just think he's kind of cool
I will
with,
take it as my favorite card, no problem.
Really? Oh man. No, my favorite
I
card is
really
real
like the
Varys.
design and some of the interactions. It's a fun card. It's well designed. Great.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's fine.
Yeah.
He's good.
I don't like the
It's
art.
just- if I could play
Varys
change his
art
name,
is
I'd be
never
much
good.
happier with him. Change his name. Make him anything but Varys.
You
I'm a
remember
I like
Roman
Blue-
again.
Blue Ally Varys?
Yep.
I mean, that Varys' art is the best Varys art in second edition.
Okay.
Crossbow Varys. That's
Uh,
something. Those are
You
words.
think it's better than the crossbow? Than the
Definitely
altar?
better than the baby,
Yeah.
the baby Varys.
Crossbow. He does have very short arms in that crossbow picture. Very
I guess he
It's
has a
weird.
crossbow in both, though, doesn't he? Like the new one has a crossbow as well. So
My problem is with the crossbow. But anyway, I think that Varys probably should have been printed earlier. He came, I think, a little too late in the cycle, which I get because I think that the restricted list might have ended up somewhat differently, actually, if Varys had existed over that summer. Like, he's a good answer to Mace. I mean, or similar decks like the Cat deck. I mean, Glazer beat me literally on a top deck Varys because he just wore me out of saves and protection for Cat, and then could just Varys her. So, like that strategy against Mace and the single character passive power, even Drown God, like it just gives control decks or mid-range decks an additional answer to that, which I think is really good. And I actually do think it's good that it's printed at the character Varys. So I know that's not popular
It's just
with
I
Glazer.
like the other Varys a lot, and I want to play both, and I can't.
You can play both.
Yeah, okay, but like I build good decks, so no, I can't.
That's debatable.
Not especially.
All right. Any other neutral cards that jump out at people?
I really
I
like
like-
Pinch, not Pinch Shadow, Poison Coin. I think Poison Coin's been like super flying under the radar.
Card.
It's in the Lanny Kraken deck, but also
It's a
in
mythical Lanny
Whamma's
Kraken deck.
what's it called, assault deck from Star
Yes.
Trek.
Yeah.
Which card? Sorry, I got lost.
Poison
Which one?
Coin.
Poison Coin.
Poison Coin.
Poison Coin.
It is really good in that Tyrell deck that Chris played
Yeah,
at Red
it's so
Saturday
much
and
fun
Juan
there.
played. So like,
Mhm.
it's a really frustrating card to play against sometimes, though.
Sure.
I
It's
like
always
Into the
tiered,
Crossroads.
so- Yeah.
And assumed everyone at Worlds would have Into the Crossroads in their melee deck because
It's such a
like,
dumb
you
card.
should.
It's not a Shadows card. Like, yeah, it has the keyword, but
Yeah.
why?
It's
it doesn't need it. You'll never do it in Shadows. But it's a great card in melee, like maybe the best card in melee. But no one else was playing. I got really pissed all day because I was like, "Don't you all know? Don't you understand? This is the best card in melee," and no one else was playing it. So I got mad.
Have you already included 3 Dragon's Tail? Because that's
It's
free.
better than Dragon's Tail if other
No.
people figured it out and they all played it.
Because that's a bargaining tool.
Hmm.
You don't attack me, you get 2 cards, I get 2 cards, 0 cost.
Yeah, I'd rather just get
that's
3 cards
better
for
than-
myself and no cards for you. It's better that way.
No.
LGB would like to make the insightful point that Poison Coin is very bad if you don't have Shadows cards in your deck. So
It's true. It is it is. One might say, quote unquote, unplayable if you don't have
Right.
Shadows cards in your deck.
a dead card even, as
Yeah,
opposed to a card that makes people dead.
it's true. Any other neutral cards that we want to go at?
No,
I actually, unironically, think Nefarious Acolyte is good.
totally wrong.
Oh,
That's
here we
cool.
go. Here we go. Here we go.
Interesting.
Sandy, lay it on us. Why?
Because I don't know. I just hate when people take shit out of my discard pile, and I also hate when other people have stuff in their discard pile that help.
Isn't that,
So let's get rid of all of that.
that's not
Is it
what
Nefarious
No,
Acolyte
blank
that
Which one am I thinking of?
blanks?
Nefarious
It's
Acolyte is the
blanks,
plot
plots.
blanking.
You
Yeah.
take
No, the one that gives the other guy.
Citadel
Citadel
Archivist.
Librarian.
That's the one in the
Archivist,
box.
yeah.
Citadel Archivist.
Yeah, and it's
But
not a
Citadel
shadow card,
Archivist
right?
has to
No,
enter
it's
your
not.
discard
Oh,
pile.
and he's not a Shadows card. Never mind. I don't know what cards do. Ignore me.
That's like
so
someone
say
likes
the
Nefarious
top
Acolyte?
of the
Huh.
card.
I mean, that was definitely an overrated card. Nefarious Acolyte caused a minor meltdown by Glazer.
No, it
Uh,
didn't. That's a complete bullshit. Never did.
I thought on this very show.
No, I tried to figure out how to make it good, and when I realized it didn't work against King Plot, I almost cried. I was like, it doesn't work against King Plot, or Barring. What fucking good is it? Like, it would be
It works
amazing
against
if it were any
sparring,
good.
right?
Yeah, if you don't already have it in Shadows.
Yeah, if he's on the table.
Yeah.
If you
Like,
pay
you
3,
can't get
4
him.
gold, right?
You can't
The
get
only
him out of
plot,
Shadows.
yeah.
What good is that?
The fact
Like,
that it doesn't work against King Plot, which is the one that you actually care about, is
yeah, he's
Well, if
completely
Breaking
terrible. I
Ties
never
was still a
voted on
thing, it would also be.
It'd be okay against Breaking Ties. It would shut it down for a phase, but literally the second he comes out, yeah, I don't know. He's real bad. I know I did not freak out about him.
All right, let's move along.
Freaking out a little bit right now. All right, let's go.
All right, so Barra, rip. We can move on.
Trash.
I mean, Banished is sweet
Trash
as a
card.
card.
Banished is a
Oh,
sweet
I
card.
would.
Who? Banished? So is
Banished
Shireen.
from life.
Those cards are
So
both.
is Shireen.
Shireen is actually really good.
And Celeste, was Celeste this cycle or was
But-
it last cycle?
She's not a
She's
Shadows
a
card.
Shadows card.
I know, but
so-
I'm just thinking about this cycle in general, like
But-
Barra.
I don't believe she was this cycle.
Are
Last.
you allowed to say Shireen is good? It doesn't fit in your Lanny Kraken deck.
It fits in his Lanny Alliance
No.
Kraken stag.
I'm just waiting to
on.
become a Barra fanboy when I can play
Oh, I would
Barra City
love
of
to be a
Shadows
Barra
as I
fanboy.
did Lanny City of Shadows in first edition.
Right.
Neil is
Spicy,
my
I like
jam, but Neil sucks because there is stand
does.
everywhere.
How is there not a come out of Shadows Neil shit card? Like when
There is.
No,
There
wait,
is.
Fire.
no.
Shadow
Oh, I
Priestess.
forgot it. I forgot
Yes, you
that.
forgot
Shadow
us.
Priestess.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
just doesn't
That'll
trigger
be good.
Melisandre, so she
No, no,
kind
no.
of.
Well, she can.
I want.
You,
No,
you
he
go
means
get both.
every time a card comes out of Shadows.
No, yeah, I want a
Uh,
Melisandre that works whenever a card comes out of
The
Shadows.
Vault,
No,
right?
it's
Was
not.
the landing card? Wasn't it the
Alchemist
Oh,
Guild
you're
Hall?
talking about Black
the
Yeah.
Guild
Cells.
Hall?
Guild
That
Hall.
was it. The
Yeah.
Guild
Guild
Hall.
Hall was a Lannister card.
I
There was
want
Yeah.
Black
Cells.
Cells.
Stop them from. Yeah, Black Cells would be sick to have back.
Oh, the one that they can't stand or
Yeah,
kneel,
they
right?
can't stand
Yes.
Neil's. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
a cool
so
card.
good.
That is what Barra needs. When they get Black Cells back, I'm gonna play Barra until the
Black
end of
Cells is
days.
unique now, isn't it? Wait, has it been leaked?
There's no
Am I
black
right?
sales.
There's no
Black Cells.
black cells. There's no black cells, dude.
I
don't
thought
know
it
what
was
you're
leaked
talking
and it was unique. No?
No,
Not that I
No.
remember.
I don't
card
know.
doesn't exist yet.
It used to be.
I'm not a
nominated.
playtester. I have no idea.
Moving on.
Anyway, but
Moving
Shireen is
on.
sweet. Banished is sweet. I think that's all there is to say about
So,
Banished.
but the theme, I guess, continues to be Baratheon gets some of the most busted, strong cards, but
And
remains
no way to
the
pay for them.
shittiest faction in the game. Like it continues that, like they just keep getting these great cards, and just no one plays Bara, and they try really hard, and it never works out. So
Terrible.
and when they do have success, they're just doing probably the most successful deck put this year for Bara was the Knights deck, right?
It was Jesse's
And-
deck, right? The Bestow deck.
The Bestow deck did well in the summer, and then the one that Evan took to Worlds, the Bara
Oh, the
Alliance
Bara-
Knights deck.
Rose cohort. Yeah, that one was
Yeah,
good.
Rose Cohort deck. Those are kind of the two success, and they were in many ways just doing crappier versions of what other factions could do, right? It's just really sad the place the Bear's in, and the Shadows cards. Like I thought Banish was going to be the card, but nope.
It might be. We haven't really seen a lot of tournament play since that card came out. Because it came out.
Wasn't
during
Banish
Worlds,
legal for
right?
Stolic?
Yeah,
I
Banish
mean,
is
maybe,
legal,
but-
right?
it was legal for Stolic. No, it wasn't legal for Stolic, was it?
What was legal?
It came out at
Banished
Worlds.
for the light.
Yeah. It was legal.
Daggers. Yeah, daggers was legal, which is
Okay.
what
But
made
that was
the Warsaw boys play Lanny Kraken. Even though I said,
yeah.
"Okay, guys, I would love to play this deck, but it's too slow," and they was in the lead every single game and got crushed because of time. Every single game.
Well, rip Wausau. All right. So, what's the next faction
Greyjoy.
on our list here? I have-
Greyjoy got killer Shadows cards.
Oh yeah.
Greyjoy got, like, outside of Lanny, I think they got, everything card gets is stupid and OP, but, like, they got just crazy good
Yeah.
Shadows cards. Like, and their cards almost all, besides whatever the Steel Rain is, make sense as Shadows cards.
What is Steel Rain? Is that
That's the weapon.
It's
Oh
location.
no,
It's,
Steel Rain's
sacrifice.
the locations get
Stack
sacrificed
location.
into new locations.
Oh, that one will be the Scape Shift or whatever the magic
yeah,
card
yeah.
is.
Basically, skate
Yeah.
shift. Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be busted at some point, but
sure.
whether that point ever exists, well,
I think with warships, I could see it being pretty dumb. Like there's some potential there, but yeah, I agree. Like if you look at the Greyjoy cards, Nighttime Marauders, obviously a great card. Hagen's Daughter, most obnoxious character in the game right now.
Because it can survive burn. Just so you know, everything is.
Yes, that's why.
Yeah.
Rhymes with Meek. I haven't actually seen people play it.
it's
but
super
looks
good.
so
It's
Blazer and I played it.
It's why I
Really?
lost
Why?
Red Set.
Really?
Yeah.
If the card is
Rhymes with me.
oh, yeah.
I didn't know those.
Aurora
Is that what it is?
triggered that on you. a
He
couple
played
times.
3x. I think he played Rhymes twice in that game, and
Jeez.
he ended up just top taking what he needed all the time from that.
turns
I mean-
out drawing 2 or 3 cards is good,
Well,
right? Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. This is the same fucking problem that second edition has had, and first edition had it too, and other card games have it. When you balance a faction around you having crappy draw, at some point, a designer's going to be like, you know what? Design space I should explore,
Giving them
card draw.
yeah.
And they're going to give the faction
Yep.
some form of card advantage, and that's exactly what happened with Greyjoy. It was what happened with Stark. It was what happened with Targaryen.
And has
it was-
not yet happened with Lannister.
Yes,
No.
but Lannister, I'm sure it's going to come at some point.
Sure.
Like it's just
Yeah, I
like
hope so.
inevitable because card designers love designing cards that give card advantage. Wow,
Well,
spoiler.
it
But, well,
came to Lannister in the form of combo, which then got shut down. Like,
yeah,
that's the only way it's doing it.
Mokoro is awesome too. Don't sleep on
yeah,
Mokoro.
Makoro's really good.
I haven't played with Makoro.
Mokoro is
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, he's so.
I just like. I guess the biggest issue with Greyjoy. I think Greyjoy is running into the same problem right now that Targ had a while ago, which is there are so many good builds. It's hard to winnow down just the cards you want for the theme of your deck. Like Makoro's really good, but I don't think he'll be in every Greyjoy deck by a long shot.
Sure, but this is, I think, second edition has finally come to that point
Hey.
that we had in
Buzz,
first edition, where
Buzz.
what?
Wait, this is a question you want more than anything we're talking about right now. Ryan Jones, for some reason, would like to know how we fix Lanny's draw. Say if you
Pyromancer's
had a
Cash.
card of that.
So in
If you had a card design.
On the fly.
He knows exactly what that means, so that's easy.
yes,
Yeah.
uh,
So
But-
I hear,
but
I
I
hear
feel
a
So
new
happy
game
if Pirate
is
Clash
coming
that
out.
big.
I think Greyjoy and to some extent some other factions has trouble building decks now because they have so many good cards, which make it so much more fun. And that's what we had in first edition, where the choices and good deck builders excel.
Yeah, we're definitely getting to a really fully fleshed out card pool, and decks can have even sometimes the same agenda and look totally different, and both of them can be reasonable, which is cool.
That's still rare, but we're getting there.
So I guess 2019, right, is so the story of 2000, the transition from 2016 to 2017 was the rise of Targaryen, and this year was the rise of Stark, which Stark started to get a little bit good at the end of 2017, and then had its rise in 2018.
Hit
A
by
A
the
little
deck.
bit good. Their performance at Thrones War tells me maybe a little later than the beginning of 2000.
Yeah,
But they started
After
getting
Storm-
good cards. They at least started getting good cards at the end of 2017, right? Because the Ramsey was at the end of 2017, right?
Yes, Ramsey was
Yeah.
around for war.
And so Greyjoy, which was already a pretty good faction, I think is going to be that for 2019. The box and then the busted cards that they got in this last cycle, just
Balon.
welcome to.
We'll get to Balon. Let's just move on from Greyjoy. We've got a whole section.
Right. Yeah, who's next?
Lanny.
All right.
I don't think
Buzz?
I wrote Lanny's Shadows event. What's Lanny's Shadows event called?
Under the Bridge of Dreams.
Yeah,
Clever
many
Feint.
Clever
versions.
Feint. Clever Feint.
Oh,
Clever
Clever
Feint
Feint,
also
the one that
the one.
returns.
Well, it's not actually a Shadows event, though.
Again,
No,
not a
but
Shadows
but
card, just like Bowels is not
Yeah.
a Shadows card.
Yeah, but come on, right? Like
Fine.
they only work
Sure.
with shadows, so like they're gonna count.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
does Lannister get the silver for busted cards that the faction kind of sucks and it doesn't see play then? Because Clever
Yeah.
Feint is definitely one of those.
Doesn't it get gold?
Clever Feint's problem is it's a worse Jonesy, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just play Jonesy. 90% of the time.
I think you
Except
play
Getting them
both.
I
into
know.
shadows is nice because then you don't have
Yes.
to pay for them to get
Yeah.
back.
That's-
you know that you
so
do save
what-
there. And if it's like 3 or 4 cards, it's better than Jones's. If it's one card, it's probably not better.
I mean, the Varys in and out is freaking fantastic,
Mhm.
and so is the rubber
Uh,
strong in it.
Old Bill
Also,
Bone.
the
Underhanded
underhanded
methods and penny and
moving
stuff.
underhanded methods around is really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Moving stuff
It's
in
also
and
yeah.
resetting and then start.
It annoys me to no end that you can't Clever Feint something that's frozen solid.
Oh, because it's blank.
It doesn't have a
That's
shadow.
gross.
Yeah, I
shadows.
hate that. Like
That
it
sucks.
it makes me want to cry because I was so excited when I thought I figured that out and then it didn't work. I was like, no.
Clever
Wait,
Feint
but
is non-loyal,
there's no locations
which is
that
nice.
Yeah.
have the
There's no locations
What
that have
locations
shadows?
that you
the
would want to
shadow,
like?
the Shadow City.
Skagos.
Okay, we're talking. I guess.
Clever
Skagos is
in
Feint.
at the crossroads much?
It is a crossroads. Maybe you need
Clever
that
Feint is
last
not
thirst
loyal.
trigger. Oh,
Sure.
bad cards. Bad cards.
Yeah, I mean, there could be at some point a Martell Lion Shadows built. Martell Lion
Bless you.
Shadows.
I can't make Martell Lion good. I've been trying. It's beyond me. I've built like 50 different ways. I haven't played Johnny's yet, so maybe Johnny figured it out. But like I built it so many goddamn different ways, and like it's the only Martell deck I don't seem to be winning with right now. It's very annoying.
Rough.
So, what do we think of Cat's Paw? Like, because that was a card that many people thought. I know Buzz is like a big believer in it, but I'd like to hear other people's opinions because it was definitely a card that a lot of people at first thought was going to be really strong, but then there was a lot of pushback about whether it was going to be good. And in my experience, it hasn't been that great playing against people in the Iron Throne who played it against me. But what do you guys think of it?
I love
Do we
the
have
idea
the-
of it, but it's really, really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Just the 2
Do we
plus
have
the
the,
cost of the card you're bouncing is
Yeah.
just it's too
So
much.
how much political disaster is in the meta?
Very little.
Very little.
So if there's not a lot of political disaster, then you can run 2 trade routes. If you run 2 trade routes,
Yes.
Cat's Paw's busted.
Yes.
If you can't run 2 trade routes, Cat's Paw is okay.
Bowels make it more tolerable. And
Yeah.
Tibwid, Jonesy card, makes it a lot good.
You,
Right,
you
'cause you
just
can
really
trigger-
need the Lannister economy machine like running at full steam. And you can do that, but you have to devote a lot of deck space. to
Also,
it.
wait, you want proof that Danny hates Lannister or is an asshole? One of the two. Like, Clever Feint is like the coolest card for the Shadow Agenda, and then they're both factional. And it's like, that would have in no way been
Yeah.
overpowered. Like, what the hell?
How is Clever Feint one of the best cards for the shadow Assault from the Shadows?
Because your Assault from the Shadows deck is still running a bunch of Shadows cards.
It's true,
Like,
but I mean,
that's how you would use Cersei in that deck, right? Like now,
I would
that-
actually.
Cersei-
I'd run Assault from the Shadows with no Shadows cards and just like play a regular deck.
I mean that's
Yeah,
kind of what
kinda what-
your Greyjoy or your Targaryen deck was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean,
Yeah.
part of the
No,
part of the
you get one
appeal-
less gold from Assault. I'm not sure that's
Yeah,
working out
part of the
in your
appeal of
favor.
Assault, in my experience, has been that it has that economy disadvantage, but you can make that up a lot of times by putting
Yeah.
Shadows cards in with the agenda, and it's your economy for the turn.
True.
Yeah.
So
Agreed. Like, I think it's an economy accelerant, not an economy slower.
Right.
most
I mean,
of the time.
just the ability to put Rose Roads in, right? Is
Yeah.
sure, that too.
that's the.
Go
Um,
second, and then it's gone by turn one.
I feel like we had this conversation, like the conversation we're currently having about Catspaw. I feel like we talked about with Ashmark. Like everyone thought Ashmark was going to be so good and so busted, and yeah, like everything else.
But Cat's Paw is already good. Like, Ashwork was never good, and Cat's Paw is good right now.
It's so good. I see it all the time in winning decks.
I mean, look, Lannister is
No,
trash, right? Like, it's
you
not
see
Cat's
it in
Paw.
all of the good Lannister decks except Crossing, but you don't see Lannister. That's the issue. Lannister sucks. Catspaw is amazing, and that's why Lannister is
this
winning
is-
the gold.
I mean,
at
Catspaw is
we
not
get
loyal.
new cards
so-
that's amazing, but we suck ass.
but
But
Bear
I
is
mean,
in the
that's
same
the thing,
boat, right?
Like, you can't look at it like the effect might be good. The effect is probably pretty decent, but you can't look at it in a vacuum. If it's not playable in any deck that wins, then it's not a good card.
Okay, so we delete all this Lannister section for now. Then
Yeah,
So, I mean,
but Crossing is a good deck, and this doesn't fit in Crossing.
well, it doesn't fit in Stark Lion because it's too greedy. But, like, that's the kind of deck it would go in.
It might fit in Greyjoy Lion, right?
Does
Does that have enough econ?
It
Probably
wants
don't
to
have the
fit
econ
in
to
the
support
mythical
it.
Lannister control deck. We just don't.
They,
it just doesn't.
in
It
a
wants to fit
Tyrell
in Martell Lion.
it could
Or
definitely
Lannister
fit.
attrition deck that is
Yeah, that too.
that
It'd be
is
amazing
But I mean,
for a
like,
Lion.
Catspaw with Nighttime Marauders is pretty good. So like
Yeah.
that's not bad. But yeah, like it's
it's just a really powerful card. Just the Lannister shells, either both out of both Banner Lion or main faction, are just kind of just not there.
Yeah.
Like there's just not. So we'll see what the second half of the Shadows block gives us. But hopefully it's something. Maybe there's a busted Tyrion or a busted Tywin or something that's coming out that we don't know about. So
Was there? No, there wasn't.
there was not a Shadows Tywin.
Or
Well,
maybe
yeah, there
they
was a
get
Shadows
Joe,
Tywin
who
in first
knows?
edition, wasn't there?
Was there?
There was, right? Yeah.
I don't think so.
One that synergized with them that did something. He was like a intrigue power when a card comes out of Shadows trigger or something.
Oh wait, did
Uh,
Tywin not kneel? No, that was if you I don't know, whatever.
I think
Fewer
you,
cards.
Let's just go into Martell so I can say that
Anyway.
Starfall Spy is one of my favorite cards of the game. Holy shit, do I love Starfall Spy.
Oh, you're right. There was one that.
Yeah.
So there was a Tricon
You-
Tywin that when you win with him, you choose a card that, with
Oh.
the Shadows crest and
Shadows.
put it back in Shadows.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was never saw play, but yeah. It was too expensive, right?
Yeah, it was
right.
5.
Martell, Starfall Spy is freaking amazing. Garrus and Archibald are really, really good. Garrus
Mhm.
is can
Martell's
turn
fun.
games.
Starfall
But
Spy's
Starfall
pretty
Spy
good.
is everything. That card is fucking unreal. Like, it single-handedly got me running like Hoda's Axe. Like, it's just so good. It's a nightmare for like 80% of the houses. Stark tends not to care. They just blanket and shrug because Mira's busted. But like, everyone else is just like, shit. You get 2 Starfall Spies in, you're just multiple challenges, in and out, defending. Ugh, it's so good.
after you win a challenge, it just gives you a free character, right?
Well, free card
free-
out
free
of
card
shadows.
out of
Shadows.
shadows.
And
Like,
if you're
that
playing
includes shadows
Assault,
5 cards. You know, like
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
so what
Like
And then-
Garrus. Yeah.
what Bratz is trying to do is get Ariana out for free every turn and then bounce stuff.
Right.
Yep. Aria, and then you get
That
the
sounds
axe on
fun.
Ariane, and you get that.
Yeah.
That was my thing, not Brass's thing, but that's fine.
Is this a assault deck? I assume then.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you get you get the axe on her. You do a 5 strength intrigue, and then you get a 8 strength power, and you can bounce anything in the goddamn game outside of
Yep.
1/1.
Outside of
Catelyn.
one.
Mag.
Yeah, but
Great
we all
Gunner,
know the 5 really expensive characters.
Unvun.
But yeah, it's unfreaking believable.
very strong.
Mission and Essos. Do we want to talk about that card?
Broken
It
and
will
melee.
be-
Poisons.
Maiden of
Broken
Poisons
in
is
melee.
way better than I thought. Maiden of
Yes,
Poisons.
she's
with,
great. She is a Sand Snake as well.
She wasn't great until we got Desert Raider. Desert Raider bus.
No, okay, so I played Maiden of Poisons and thought it was great before Desert Raider. Maybe she's
I didn't think
even
so.
better now, but
She just wasn't quite
cray
good enough
cray.
to get space. Except that she makes Dorea so much better.
yes.
I love Dorea so much. She's not my Martel Wolf, and it makes me cry.
We have no other sand snakes, so
Literally,
No
one other
daughters?
Sand Snake.
No.
No, daughters had to go for Desert Raider. There's just 78 good cards
Yeah.
for that deck, so you're cutting good shit at some point.
yeah, Maiden and Poisons is pretty frustrating card to play against when it gets going.
Especially out of HRD Starfall.
Yeah.
Oh, you make a challenge. Hey, bringing up this shadows, remove this, bounce that. Hey, baba.
I love using her on offense, and they're like, "I'm gonna just defend with my big guy." And you're like, "What? Are you an idiot?" Bye.
Yep.
Like Tricons, you're like Dornish by Starfall. Oh shoot! You go back to handle with an intrigue now. Thanks. Oh, so good.
Good flea bottom interaction too, because she
Yeah.
sacrifices.
Shadow City is really good if you have Flea Bottom out. And really mediocre if you don't. Shadow City Starfall Spy Flea Bottom is awesome. It's just draw 2 cards, pay 1, get it back, put it back in Shadows, brings other shit out. It's really cool.
So Martel remains busted. Good to
I
know.
don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Like, how many different things are there to answer Flea Bottom right now? Flea Bottom is
A lot.
it's my Flea Bottom is very often just Greyjoys. It's like, hey, Greyjoy, want to have an extra restricted card?
Like, all these cards are good, but there's still all the cards that make Martel tough to play still exist.
Maybe that's why Danny didn't give Greyjoy any good flea bottom targets, because he secretly knew that it was just a Greyjoy card and they would have used it if they got good targets.
It is always the top card of your deck when Euron is attacking.
It
So-
really is.
Oh,
What's the card that could bail me out of here? I just need to draw a flea bottom. Ah, cool. Euron. Oh, top card. Oh, well.
Works really cool with anything that goes back in Shadow. So it's really cool with Hagen's Daughter too. You like Shadow City out of Hagen's Daughter, Flea Bottom back, kill him to claim, and you're like, hey, cool.
Anything else you want to say about Martel? I think.
Garrus is
We're not going to talk about Mission to Essos.
Oh, well, you wanted to get us
Broken
started
in
on
melee,
Mission
move on.
SS.
Dude,
It's
the
going to be
Garrus
like,
is
it
awesome.
could theoretically be broken in Jest, but they restricted all the cards it would be good with. So,
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that sort of deck
It's
being good.
designed solely to be a combo card, and then it's like, come on, play combo, do it. No.
and then
Hopefully, it's the last true combo card we see. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be, right? They're going to keep making him.
as long as Danny
Yeah.
just keeps printing legacy Magic cards,
Yeah.
no, it won't be
But
the
it's like
last combo
he
card.
makes him, then he restricts him. Like, what's? I feel like he's talking out of both sides of his face here with this card and any more that may show up like it.
Laser, put Night's Watch on its own page.
Oh, sure.
So Night's
You could
Watch
have all-
is the
okay.
next faction.
I can't.
All 4
Compar-
Shadows cards.
All 4 Shadows cards, one of which is good, the rest are garbage.
Is it
Which
Janos
one's
or
good?
Dagger?
Janos is good.
3 of them are
Janus is
good.
good. 3 of them are
Fanning
good.
Steward is good.
Hard home.
Yeah, what are you
Where
talking about?
where are these? Okay, where are these? Where are these
No.
cards?
In
Only
my
Janus.
Red
Art-
Cook deck.
Oh, Rat Cook.
Oh,
Yeah, Cunning Steward is pretty good.
Nightwatch Wolf,
Where-
Rat Cook. It's insane.
Okay, now we're in the Lanny Kraken world. Like besides
Yeah,
besides
right.
Kyle Vansel's night
Ask
sweats,
Mira.
where is Rat Cook? Like
See, Mira is on my boat.
Night's Watch Wolf is a really good deck. It doesn't have to be Rat Cook. There's multiple good versions, and they all run hard home.
Hard home. That sucks.
Hard home
He's
is
talking about Cunning Steward.
Yeah.
I know. They all run hard. Cunning Steward's fine. It's
Cunning
it's
Steward's
in
really good.
it's in Rat Cook decks, which are fine because the Stark guy is a steward. The Stark one drop is a steward.
It's in regular wall decks, right?
Yes,
Not that are not builders.
Yeah. Not builders decks run it because yes, Tricons are good.
was
And
it
Janos is
in
good.
was Cunning Steward in Tomas's World Stack?
It was not released for Worlds.
Yeah, it was. Cunning Steward's been out
Yeah,
for a while.
It's really
But it
early.
was. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Really in the cycle.
I
So
thought it
like
was
if it's
Daggers
not
in the
in
Dark.
like Tomas plays the best non-builders wall decks, and if it's not in Tomas's deck, then to me that means it's
Sure.
not a defense.
It means
card.
it's probably not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair.
So that's just. I mean, I thought Cunning Steward was going to be good, but it ended up just not really. Maybe the Rat Cook dream is alive. I hope it is.
It is. The Raccoon deck is really good.
But where is it? Like this is
But there are no
Well,
tournaments
Tournament
right
season,
now.
yeah, tournament season
Yeah,
ended. Like,
these
Calm-
cards
what's
were all
happened?
legal.
Roy,
Like these were all legal for Worlds and Stolic. Like I'm sorry.
Let's see if it takes over Store Championship season.
Dude,
before
I
it-
solved the deck like 1 week ago. Calm down.
You're about to
Hey.
sleep, Roy.
Buzz and Sid get Night's Watch. Look it.
Maybe. Oh.
Rat Cook
Oh,
life.
how many agendas can we run Rat Cook out of, Buzz?
All of
One.
them?
What?
I mean, it's
Skip it. No.
All of
it's
them.
best in Wolf.
If we
because you
can't
get 3 extra
all dress
stewards.
up
No,
as
no,
Rat
I've been on a
Cooks
team with
and
Night's
come
Watch
with
and
a
Sid.
14 player.
You're
Oh
gonna
man,
dress
if you
up.
find a
you're gonna
rat
give
cosplay, then
Sid
you should draft me.
an amazing Night's Watch deck, and Sid's gonna say, "No, I'm gonna play Rangers Rush. I'm gonna I know that these other decks are better than Rangers Rush. I'm gonna
And
play
then I would
Rangers
play-
Rush."
And then I forget what was my record compared to your builder's record, Roy. I
You
can't
won
remember
one
at
more
all.
game than I did.
Oh,
But you played
Oh.
builders and he didn't.
I did.
that's
I
right.
know.
Yeah.
Yes,
Didn't
but
you
I
beat me at Thrones
Roy.
War
You
with that
besmirched
Ranger
my
deck?
Rangers Rush deck.
I also
it's
think one of
plus
your
one
wins was a
game
buy.
and plus one
It was,
soul.
it
Is that
was.
the math on that?
Wait, Sid, didn't
Yeah.
you beat me with that Ranger Rush deck?
I believe
at
I
Thrones
did.
War?
He
I
beat me
beat
too.
a lot of
That's
people with
like-
that
Oh,
Rangers
That's
Rush
why.
deck.
He had an easier opponent.
Yes.
than you did.
Yes. Rangers
Easier
Rush is
than
better.
the buy.
All right, we don't need to reminisce about Night's Watch too much. Let's move on.
All right, Stark. Stark got three
few,
completely
but
busted
few.
cards, and one of them is a Shadows card.
One? What do you mean?
At
Bolton
least
Flare.
is
two of them are shadows.
Bolton
Bolton Flare and
Bolton
Mira.
Flare does not need. Bolton Flare doesn't need to be Shadows at all.
Yeah, but you
As
a surprise Bolton
Scouts,
Flare is much better than one that you can play around. I mean,
It's gotten better now that Mira is a card.
going-
Now that there are multiple cards that could come out of shadows
Exactly.
and around.
Yeah.
I
So-
often put Bolton Flare in shadows as Montreal Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Very often.
Fair enough. I'll take wrong on that.
like he's better out of shadows than not. So I think you got to give it. Like,
Sure. He's better out of Shadows. I just don't think it's a large difference.
okay.
It
He doesn't do
wasn't
anything
for
with
most
Shadows
of the
if there's
year,
Shadows.
right? Like when Bolton Flare was seeing its most play in Mono Stark, it didn't matter. But now that you have Mira and there's multiple things you can see coming out of Shadows from Stark, the Shadows keyword becomes better.
Mira is completely busted.
She's extremely
Yeah.
busted. She's amazing,
So busted. So just. Ugh.
but she's
And
a necessary
she's-
card.
She's not
Course
a third card
Linkus-
in any way.
Linkus.
shape, or form.
Worse than she was in first edition. So
You
I don't
think
think
she's worse than she was? No.
she's
Just-
way
Wait,
worse.
like a worse card or more powerful?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
she's way worse card, and she's
She's
still
a
busted.
less
as
good
heck.
card
And
than
she's
first
still
edition.
busted.
In first edition, she was either the best or the second best card for the high majority of the game's existence.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was pretty.
Are we-
and then they
wait, are we
still nerfed her, and she became still one of the most
Like
powerful.
still the top 5.
Are we Is Wintertime Marauders in this list of good cards from first edition?
What?
See, Winter Marauders was always seemed better than it was going to be.
I don't know, man.
Wintertime
Definitely
Marauders was
overrated.
busted as shit.
Yeah,
Is that the one that
it's
discarded
fine.
non?
The
cards
fact that
when
it
you
was
went
allowed to
down?
discard a duplicate, that was the one dumb
that
thing.
was-
So,
yeah, that was the one. Everything
a
else was
duplicate is
fine.
a non-unique card is a silly ruling, but
Wait, but Thrones, we got rid of all those silly rulings when we switched to second edition. Yeah, I do think Mira
By the
is a
way-
necessary card in the current card pool because Drogon is a card. Hisdar is a
Sure.
card. Like
Well,
you,
big dumb decks are a card.
Yeah, big dumb decks
Yeah,
are cards.
I mean,
And Mira
they're decks, they're not
provides.
cards.
So with a real restricted list, Mira shouldn't have, or should be on it.
Yes.
She should be on it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I think it's good, but I don't think it's I don't think it offers enough of a synergistic effect with other cards to warrant restriction.
Mira
I think
doesn't
it's a
offer
powerful
synergistic
card.
effect.
Crazy?
Wait,
We're
Mira doesn't
talking about
offer
Mira,
synergy?
right?
Like what? She synergizes
like-
with everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That's my point. Like,
Mira's
you're going to put every sacrifice effect on the
No,
restriction?
you
list?
put,
no, you're gonna put
put
Wyman.
Mira and Wyman on them.
Wyman.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's
there
at
was-
that point. That's
I don't think
basically
that.
I'd probably
Please
rather Mira and Skagos than Mira and Wyman. But sure.
probably the better decision.
Arguably, that makes sense. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's. I don't think it
Can we
warrants
just take a
restriction.
second to realize
I
that
think
we're
it's a good
like
answer.
not even finished with our first episode of the year and we're already on restricted lists again? I love it. Yeah, we're really on brand, guys.
What
Good work.
did you expect?
Like war, Second
Bulgaria?
Sons never change.
Oh yeah, Mira alone. All Stark has to do is restrict Mira because Flea Bottom's on the list. That makes sense. Mira's right. Just
Alright.
restrict
Yeah,
Mira.
it's
Like
correct.
if you have to choose between Mira and Flea Bottom
Bottom
shenanigans.
and
That's
wars.
a real choice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that. That's fine.
That's
Just
fine.
restrict Mira. Bring Stark in line. They're so strong. I'm for it. I might throw one other bigger Stark card on there.
But
yeah.
so I mean, again, we should get off this, but like I agree, but you can't bring Stark into line if you don't bring Targaryen into line at the same time. And Greyjoy.
Speaking of
Like-
Targaryen, here's all the good
Yeah,
cards.
Targaryen.
Yeah.
So
Great joy.
Tar got 4 incredible cards also. Look at that.
Uh,
Well, three
they
and
all
one
turn out
that
to be
Three
incredible.
incredible ones. 3 A cards. 1 like B- card and 1 F.
Brazen Beast isn't it?
Brazen
What's
Beast
the
is
F?
not an F, yeah.
Brazen
Brazen Beast. That card is
It's not an
garbage.
F. It's like a
It
C
is an
minus.
F.
It's not an F. No.
It's good in
F.
some. It's good in some versions of
There's-
Martell.
I-
In some versions of Martell Dragon.
Yep.
It's a card.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
having a hard time coming up with any deck where this is the right call for a 4-cost character.
Guards. If you're running guards, it's a guard.
It's no
Oh,
attachment.
it is a guard. Holy shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay.
okay,
There.
so I think you have to lower the like you have to have a very specific card demand. That's sort
Yeah,
of
it's not
like-
good. It's just not an F.
Yeah.
Yeah,
C minus
it's
is not a
a-
good
it's a-
grade.
C
Yeah.
minus D card, or we
I
should
don't-
it's an E. It's an E to use the white book
What's
rating
the-
system.
I mean, what's an example of an F card? Because I can't think of one that's
Hey,
more useless.
Hey, wasn't
than this
wasn't Jesse
Uh,
supposed to only be
Kingslayer,
50?
the sword or whatever.
one? I mean,
The-
Kingslayer
attachment.
is in about as many productive decks as Brazen Beasts. Like,
Totally
I-
different.
Wait. Wasn't Jesse supposed to be here in literally 15 minutes? We've been doing this cast for an hour
Sure.
and 15 minutes.
Yes.
He's probably playing poker.
He's
It's
playing
fine.
poker. He's probably getting his
He's-
money taken by
He's
Nick.
so
The
goddamn
fact that-
degenerate. It's amazing. All right.
The fact that this card like actually gets something out of your discard pile and back into play for target, like that, I think that takes it above an F because
Yeah.
they've got an issue with discarding like all their hand. So it's there's something there, but yeah, if it's not in a guard deck,
So
Targ just
I mean,
does
you
so
don't-
much other shit, right?
Yeah.
Like,
You don't
because
have three
Targ can
gold.
do that 800 ways.
Like 3 gold out of Targ is like a real card. You could play a real card instead of putting this card in the
yes,
yes.
well that's the thing, right? Like
yeah, but you
I-
did. You just discarded him to play the real
Yeah,
card.
if,
You
yeah.
have to
discard,
get
if
him back.
discard was a real cost, this would be okay. But it's not, so it's not. Right? Like, that's all it is.
Yes.
If discard
If-
worked the way it's
if-
supposed to, this would work.
if all of the other like cheating out of the discard pile synergies were blown up at Targaryen, so if Targaryen becomes Bera or Lannister, like by Dany's magic wand, then Brazen's Beast is a fine C card that could see play if you need like ways to turn on your discard synergies. But Targaryen is the rich get richer of factions, and so it doesn't matter. So the card's garbage, except in one deck. We can move on.
Aired Assassin is awesome and should be in every target deck.
Yeah,
It
at
is,
least
that
one
card probably
Every
The-
non-crossing target deck.
should not have been printed in the faction that was printed in. Like number
I'd
one.
run
for
it
the cycle.
I'd run it in Crossing. It's a good. It's actually good filler.
I'd love Hired Assassin if it were a Lannister card.
It was a Lannister card, a Baratheon card, like even a Tyrell card, like literally any other faction. But
It could have been a Baratheon card. You're right, like the one that Robert hired to go kill Daenerys.
yeah, it literally could just like there's
But
no
aren't all
point.
the people that try and kill Dany just target cards in AGOT?
That's
Like, isn't that how that works?
It
Basically-
actually, I think, would have been a great Stark card. Or no, not Stark. Yeah, Bera is the one, right? Where
yeah.
is it? Yeah, but you can. I mean, it's fine. Like, I think you can probably run it out of Bera Dragon and do the Banished from the Light, Hired Assassin combo. You know.
Yeah, that's a good
If you
combo.
run that way.
Or you just run the Targ faction card and get all the good Targ cards, and you get this
Right.
answer to good without
Like,
you don't need the Banish from the Light bullshit. You just run the busted Targ cards like Drogon, which
All right.
I mean,
Guys,
yeah,
we-
there's easier
we
ways
talk
to
about-
kill people if you're not running Bera. Like, you can just actually kill them.
All right,
You don't need to put them into shadows.
let's move on to Terrell because, like, we don't need to talk about Queen's Garden Aegon for another 6
Because
hours,
they got
right? Like,
nothing but good Shadows cards.
Terrell got really good Shadows
Yeah.
cards, right?
Yes.
It just
Is
I mean,
Well, I
scheming,
don't know.
Obviously, but
I mean, Scheming Septon's great.
It's not a shadow
think
card,
Thorns
though, to
Level,
be
this
fair.
is great.
But
it is in Shadow stacks, right? Like, it's a Shadows card if you're running other Shadow synergies.
sure,
It doesn't do anything.
It's
in and
great
of
for Poison Coin, but it's not a shadows card either.
It's great. It's great with Flea Bottom, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's still not a Shadows card. It's great to trigger your Undercity.
I
Great
haven't
turn.
seen that Queen of Thorns much, but I guess maybe I just haven't played against
so
haven't played
busted
against it.
in that
She's-
Tyrell
she's
assault
really
deck.
great. She's
She
really
is,
great.
she is
So
what makes the
busted.
assault decks click. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's very
tapping
powerful.
her really stalls out those decks.
There's just
Um,
something like what's super interesting about Tyrell in the Shadow cycle is they got all these good Shadows cards and they kind of coalesced at the end of the cycle into this really good deck that Chris and Wama and others played at the end of the competitive season. But still, I think Tyrell feels underpowered compared to the other major factions in a way that I think is really interesting, despite the fact like it suffers from kind of the same problem that Lannister and Bera do at the end of the cycle, with a slight success story. Like, because I mean, maybe that's just a hangover I have from green cards being literally.
No, I think that's right. Yeah, they haven't recovered from the restricted list as well as some other houses have. Like,
The only house that got restricted, right?
Yeah.
Like everything
Yeah.
else was neutral. Like they
yeah,
got
fair, I guess.
they got hammered. Like what happened to Terrell should happen to literally.
It was
Every
the
house should
sharpest.
die.
I mean, to be fair, it was the sharpest deflation of power level that the game
oh yes, absolutely.
has ever seen.
Well, besides combo, yes.
Yes, but combo like that was like banning.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
combo
yeah.
just banned. It was like, okay, this isn't part of the game anymore. But like nominally, you could still play Mace and you can still play Hightower. And came in second place in Stolic, right? Mace came. So
well,
Uh,
Wama was a bit unlucky against Jacob as well. Otherwise, he could have gone far as well. Well,
Yes.
further, he went far.
yeah, he went far. Wama can't complain about how he finished. So Yeah.
Shrewd Diplomat's one of my favorite cards in the game.
very
Super enjoy playing that card.
yeah.
Who was
Again,
it?
but that's like it's classic
Oh, Wama.
overpowered Tyrell design, but hasn't pushed Tyrell back into the stratosphere again. Like that card is
Um,
so overpowered. Like it has
I mean,
ambush and shadows.
Terrell has like 2 or 3 T1 builds, right? Like it's not like they're not. People just aren't playing them because, honestly, because like they're not published and flashy and easy to play, and people just play dumb decks.
Yeah.
Right?
I think. Yeah, I agree. I think there's I totally agree with you, Aaron. Like, I think when I try to build a Tyrell deck, for example, there's so many cards that seem good and they're just not. Like building a cohesive unit of Tyrell is actually surprisingly difficult. It's not like Targ where you just literally pick any 60 black cards and you're fine.
So besides the assault, all right, I'm going to be honest with you. I played a lot of the Tyrell Summer that came in second. Like, I have to agree with Buzz's assessment at the end of when we talked about Stalik. Like, that game's win condition is getting to 10 power and the game ending after 55 minutes. Like, it doesn't have, it's just not consistent enough to be a tier 1 deck, like the Tyrell Summer deck.
It finished second, so it's at least semi-tier 1. Whether that's legal or fair or not, right?
Maybe.
I mean, it did finish second in Stalik.
It did. But
that's it. Look, I think the deck is kind of dumb and not necessarily super T1, but it's at least T1-ish. Let's not treat it like it's trash here.
it's not trash. Like, their green cards are good cards, but like it's nothing compared to Stark, Greyjoy, Targaryen.
It's
like
not S tier essentially.
we're not even S tier, it's tier 1. Like, to me, like, you have to compete with those 3 decks. Like
it's tier 1. It's just not S tier, like
Right.
Yeah.
Martell Wolf and
think-
Stark Fealty, for example.
Yes.
So
Anyway,
but
they got really good cards.
Tyrell Assault is amazing, and Tyrell Crossing, which no one bothers playing for God knows what reason, is still T1.
I mean, but I disagree because like there are better rush build. Like Tyrell Crossing is a good deck. It's good in war. People will play it. Whoever gets green cards for war will play the deck. But if your choice is Tyrell Crossing, Targ Crossing, Stark Crossing, like why would you pick? What about the Tyrell deck makes you not want to play the other two?
I don't know. John's Tyrell Crossing beat the other crossings, so there was that.
Did it?
Yeah,
Because we didn't
John-
play it.
I know, but it beat the other crossings.
In what
But
tournament?
It's not just about
other stuff.
We didn't take it to tournament. It's just when we were testing stuff.
Yeah,
we
I
had the
don't
Tyrell Crossing.
know
Just
that.
breaking ties wasn't restricted yet, right? Like as soon as breaking ties was
Correct.
That makes a
restricted.
huge difference.
it does.
I'm convinced that Targ Crossing beats Tyrell Crossing, like, I don't know, on the order of 100% of the time. Piloted, like there's no way.
All right, let's play 100 games.
Maybe.
I mean,
I'd believe that if he could beat John with it 3 times.
yeah, I
right?
mean, I don't know about Stark. I don't know Stark well enough, but like I've played a lot of games with Targ Crossing, and the Tyrell can't keep up with that deck.
Tyrell Crossing has trouble with Drogon. Like Tyrell in general has trouble with Drogon, but Tyrell Crossing has particular problems with him.
Yeah, maybe.
How do you do military challenges if your opponent has Drogon? Unless you do it as your 3rd challenge, but then you turn off a lot of your other
Drogon
stuff.
only works on attack, so that's how you do it.
Does he only work on attack? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you should read the cards. That's how you do it.
Oh, okay.
Right, but like your econ has to be significant. Like if I don't know. I don't think you can get enough board presence to deal with like Drogo, 2-claim plot, Death Next Pit. You lose at that point. Like there's just nothing. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. We can argue about this later. I don't think Tyrell Crossing is that good compared to the other crossings.
Yeah, I don't think that's a conversation that needs to be gone.
Yeah,
into detail
we'll
about.
discuss this at a later date.
There's a lot of people waiting for our war discussion.
We are on to non-limited econ.
Ooh, exciting.
Some got
ranked them.
good, some got bad.
One got bad. Here's one non-limited econ I don't like.
They all hit
Barrow
better
one
than
sucks.
the
I'm
shots.
actually on 3 I don't like.
Really?
Yeah.
Which 3?
Oh.
Which 3?
Bottom 3 here. 6, 7, 8.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like
Yeah,
Summer
you don't like
Seaport?
Summer
I
Seaport?
love
No.
I
Summer
love that
Seaport.
card, yeah. I'm with Aaron.
Um,
I love that card a
so
lot.
I think it's too slow.
That's what I like about it.
yeah, me too. I play a lot of slow. Martell decks.
Okay, so I play a lot of tempo attrition, but in a control deck like the Wolf style that Leonard plays, or Aaron, I guess. I understand it. It's just I don't.
It was
I don't-
super good in Leonard's deck.
Yeah.
Like super good.
I don't see it
Yeah.
being comparable to the top 3 or 4 of these.
It's at least as good as the Tyrell one. In the context of the control decks, it plays a very
Okay.
similar.
So
It just furthers your strategies and
it's
gives you
really
additional
good. So it also just like in control, and a lot of the benefit of it for a control deck is if you can set up 2 economy cards, you're getting the set. And like I feel like if I set up a Summer Seaport and a Dornish Fiefdom, I've won that game most of the time. Like it's such a huge tempo swing just being able to have the non-limited and then being able to you win or you die and just keep 3 or 4 cards is silly.
Yep.
So
Marini's
I
Market's
think,
number 1 though, right?
Yes,
Like anyone
I don't
want to argue
know.
that?
Goldmine
Yeah,
is
it's the
really
best.
good. I don't know why you have Goldmine below Northern Armory, to be honest.
Oh,
Northern
Because
Armory
Lannister
is-
sucks.
Because they
Because
printed
Lannister
because they printed Skagos.
yeah, Northern Armories.
Uh,
Uh,
Goldmine.
I also
Goldmine
think
is
Arbor
great.
Marketplace might be too
Goldmine.
low on this list.
If Hulk
So-
didn't have a worship, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
Hulk
think
didn't
I
have the worship
had
rate, it
too
would be
much
last,
marketplace.
right?
It just became free.
Warships are good. Warships do a lot of things, and Greyjoy's been desperate for this economy forever.
I think having another strength boost out of Tyrell is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it turns on a lot of their shit. I don't know, but I don't. I think Marini's Market is clearly the best, and like by head and shoulders. Like it's
So the problem with Harbor Marketplace to me is I mostly want that strength bump in Rush, and it's expensive in a tempo.
Yeah.
So like it's still great, and I'm still running 3 in all my Tyrell decks, right? It's just not perfect.
Well, I
Like,
mean, Tyrell
Marini's
also.
Marini's Market is perfect.
I mean, Tyrell also has red wine straights. So like the strength pump is good. It's useful, but it's not such a power creep over where economy was for Tyrell. So it's basically only the strength pump you want, and then you've got to make room for it. Like it's a good card, but it's a middle compared to what the other what the other ones higher on the list do for their factions. They're much stronger.
When you're pairing that +1 with like the stand effects that they can get though, like that's kind of the idea, right? You're not just doing it for the 1 strength. You're using it to synergize with not only Randall but the what's her name, the courtier. Yeah, after you get it, like you can, like it does a little bit more than just give 1 strength if you're playing it right. I think.
I mean, the threat of activation, even in the 1 strength.
It's good. I mean, it's good in a Targ meta.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. It's only for the challenge though. It's not.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
if you need to win that challenge,
Yeah.
I also like it in melee. I mean, not that anyone gives a shit about melee, but it's it does any character. It's not your character.
So, quick Northern Armory note: when it was first printed, I remember the bad Facebook group that no one's still a member of. Everyone thought it was bad, and it should stand itself every other round.
Oh,
Just
I
like,
was reticent to give it a quality grade when it first came out, but I came around.
So good.
I came around. Once I used
Very
it, I was like, "Oh wait, this is like money and an event that says stand a character.
Yes.
This is good. This is good."
I mean, it's the card that the Stark Rush decks were built around, right? Like, it's what makes Stark Rush, like as a pure Rush deck, probably the best of the 4 crossings, I guess, that are really good.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay. Anything else to say about I love non-limited Khan's place in the game. I'm really happy it happened.
It was a good design.
Yeah.
Danny did a really good job. It was
I
a
agree. I'm
very
glad they
smart
were
decision.
I think for with the exception of Vera, I think all of them. Well, I guess Vera's kind of thematic. They're all pretty they're all good, like reasonably good. Maybe Night's Watch isn't, as we're discussing in chat. But
I don't think. I don't think
Night's
the
Watch
Targ one
is
been that bad.
aggressively
Night's Watch is-
bad, as someone said in the chat.
It's aggressively bad, except for the fact that Cohort exists.
Yeah.
so
Sure, yes, in core, but I meant fiefdom is anyone who says it's anywhere near decent is just wrong.
Wait, and Marini's Market is
Stormland
not.
Fiefdom?
Yeah.
it's bad.
yeah,
Marini's Market is not thematic at all.
it kind of
no.
is.
No,
I mean, it's
not. No
thematic
way.
in the sense that it fits Targ. Like, which type
How?
of themes are we talking about? The card themes? It fits Targ themes.
Yeah.
How Targ doesn't take
Manipulating the discard pile is a Targ
No,
thing.
Targ doesn't manipulate the discard pile. Like, in no way do they
They
manipulate.
do. They clearly do.
How?
Marinese Market.
They put things. That's it. That's it. Everything
They
else
dump
is
they dump
occasional.
cards into their Brazen Beast was
Yeah,
printed in the
They
same
dump,
cycle.
they dump cards into their discard pile, and they can occasionally play things in the discard pile. In
Yeah.
no way is that affecting your opponent's discard pile. If it
Wow.
said you may put a card from your own discard pile to the bottom of your
Yeah,
deck,
that's
then you'd
true.
be fine.
Marinese
That's
Market
like the card
being,
should be.
Mariners Market
Yeah,
is OPAF because it affects opponents.
That's true.
And because
behind
Flea
that.
Bottom is a card. If it wasn't, it'd be a
Yeah.
whole different story.
Fair.
but I do think
It's
all
still
of
good
them,
without
like
Flea Bottom.
the game needed them, and
I
it's
don't
much
think
more
so.
interesting than the first edition Cs, which were just like
Oh,
the
Yes.
non-limited econ in first edition.
Yeah, that's fair.
There was other non-limited econ first edition. Don't forget the streets.
The streets.
Yeah, I mean the streets were limited in a different way though because they were one per deck. So
Yeah, but like I would if they printed the streets again, we'd all
sure,
run
of course
them,
they go on every deck, and that's why they didn't
Oh
get reprinted.
God, what was it? Was it Street of Silk? Which one was the
Silk.
reduced by 2?
So
That was
yeah,
for
Silk-
unique
Silk
you have
characters.
the truck
And
So-
unique
Sea
character.
and Flea Bottom were reduced by 2.
Yeah, Flea Bottom.
Yeah, Flea
brought
Bottom
it
was
to my note,
Melt.
but that was it.
Silk was chuck it. You have to blow up a location to play it.
Yeah. And it would only work for uniques, right?
Yeah, only
Yes.
network.
All right. Oh, God.
No, so we're gonna jump into the Greyjoy box then, right? Or do
We don't want to talk about agendas again. Just
agendas?
let's
Yeah,
mention
we can
that
talk about
they
the
were-
agendas.
they
No,
were
we
for the agendas. We talked about them kind of last week, so we don't have to go.
yeah,
into
we sort of definitely went into the end of the year, but I think Free Folks busted.
I don't think Free Folks busted. I think it's a shit design, but I don't think it's busted.
It's still high variance, so you will fall flat in your face, which is again why I still consider it a B+. But when it runs hot, it's the least interactive design. It's so.
Yeah.
Anyway, jump into Greyjoy.
Let's do Greyjoy box.
Or should we talk about War Prep?
It feels like
I
we
mean-
want to talk about Warcraft. Like
Why do we only have X time left?
I don't know. We usually try not to run over 2 hours.
Who cares?
I have to go to work
Let's go.
tomorrow. I don't know about the rest of you.
I have to work.
gotta
I haven't-
tomorrow.
You're on the West Coast. I want to hear it. I got to be up in like 5 hours. Whatever. All right. So you want to skip Greyjoy box? We can always just do Greyjoy box.
Next.
Like a full episode on Greyjoy box. Not like new cards are coming.
Yeah,
True.
that's true.
we have 3 months to do Greyjoy box.
All right. So
I like
do-
the faction ranks.
So let's talk faction ranks. I ranked the factions at the end of cycle 4, and I listed a short, like, I don't know, quick off the top of my head list of their viable builds. I included the Greyjoy box in terms of what is there, although I don't think I wrote Sea of Blood for anything because this list was made before last episode and I hadn't really played with it yet. All right. I think the top house is Targ. Sandy disagrees. I think everyone else agrees.
Yeah, I don't know that the top house is Targ. I think there's some natural predators to Targ, but we'll see. I think Targ is definitely top 3.
Targ is definitely top 3. I mean, I think probably. I think Greyjoy's probably been pushed above Targaryen by the box,
Really?
but it's like
I don't think
millimeters.
the
It's like by
Yeah.
the
You know what the-
slightest bit. By the
And
slightest.
it's too new to know for sure, right? Like we'll
Sure.
have to see how Sword Championship season plays out to really be able to say whether or not they're that good. They look good, right? Like I think like, oh wow, but Targ we know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a safe bet. Like if regions have the money and they're willing to invest in it, then like Targaryen is safe. Now there's been like 2 out of the 3 Stark captains last year, regents last year, did a good job with the faction, but like there's the trap that Than ran into with
you said
Oktoberfest.
Targ.
Or Targ. I'm sorry if I with Targaryen, but that Than ran into where he tried to purely get it all, try to just let the faction do the wins for you and not
Right.
like really push the Targaryen decks pushes players to play the best kind of Targaryen decks, and that can kind of shoot you in the foot. Like the cards can get you there, but they can't get you all the way. So
that's a good transition to like here's the Targ builds I think are T1. Sea of Blood should be there, but Salt, HRD, Crossing, Fealty, Wolf, and Cohort.
What's your wolf deck? Targ Wolf?
I mean,
Shannon Wolf.
the Shannon Wolf. We had
It's
John
understandable.
Arkosh also built a similar version with Glazer and.
Is that the super aggro-y one?
No,
and,
it's
no,
attrition.
and there's also
Oh.
there's also the top 8 one at Stolic, right?
I feel like aggro and attrition are pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, there's like one runs burn, one doesn't, right? And one runs not
Yeah.
a lot of burn, but some burn, and one doesn't. But like,
You think
there's at least
yeah.
there's at least 2 different Targ Wolf decks that are T1.
So I think there's a power difference between Assault, HRD, Crossing, and the other 3.
I mean,
I'm not.
Wolf was top 4 at Worlds.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
Wolf was
true, I
top
guess.
4 at
Fealty
World?
won Nordics.
Yeah, Wolf
Wait.
was top 4 at Worlds.
Was it?
Fealty did
Right?
win Nordics, and
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes,
was
it
it
was.
Shannon the
No.
top 4?
Wolf
Yes.
went far in
Yes.
both Stalic and Worlds.
It was top
Was-
8 at Stolic and top 4 at Worlds. That makes it a T1 deck. I'm sorry.
It was the best even at Stalic, the best Targ.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Wait.
top 8
Kevin
Kevin
was in the
Shannon.
top 4?
lost in the
He
top
did.
4. Yes.
Oh, he did? Okay. Okay.
He-
For some
he
reason, I
lost
thought
to,
Neil was the one who lost, but I don't know.
He lost to Eamon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Brad and Shannon played.
So yeah, but like
I mean, which
That-
was an HRD, Target HRD. So that's-
sure, I'm like sure, but that's a 1 game sample. He beat others during the day, and like top 4, like dude, top 4 at
Yeah,
Worlds.
but
It's not like
it's still. I mean, if we're talking 1 game sample, but it's out of like there's only 9 games that played, right, or 10 games that it played.
Sure,
Right.
but it's
They're not,
also
they're
a
not saying
matchup of the
HRD
two.
is worse. They're just saying Wolf probably belongs in that category.
Okay,
yeah.
that's fair.
And they're not going to
I
be
just
playing
feel
each
like we
other,
have a
so
lot
it's
more
a bad
depth.
sample anyway.
Well, I just think we have a lot more data on Crossing HRD. I guess we don't really have that much data on Assault because so many people have played it, whereas Wolf has been played by like 2 or 3
Because-
people.
Because Assault and Wolf aren't really posted. One Wolf is
Yeah,
posted, and
maybe
for
that's
whatever
all.
reason. For whatever reason, we haven't. Well, for reasons obviously, I guess. We haven't really had any tournaments in Stolic, so.
That's fair. Okay.
The other thing with Targaryen in a war format is I think there's a lot of top players that are willing or happy to play it, like Sandy and them. So whereas with Greyjoy, like it's unexplored, the new stuff is unexplored, and people just don't enjoy it. So
It's just you, Chris.
What factions have
It's
you
just
marked
you.
as you're not interested in?
what factions did I mark as not interested? Greyjoy and Baratheon.
Yeah,
Yep, Greyjoy and Barrow. Those are the
same
2.
as everyone.
Yeah. See,
Wait,
so it's not just
I'm
me;
pretty
it's the
sure-
same as everyone.
Okay, there
I'm
are a
pretty
fair
sure I
few
just
people
marked
who actually
Martell.
marked.
There are
yes,
a lot of people who love Greyjoy. Like, there are a
yes,
lot of people.
but there's 2 types of people. That either you mark one of the big guy houses, usually Greyjoy or Baratheon, or you mark
Or
Martell
Martell.
and Night's Watch as stuff you don't like. That it's a flip.
But I like Night's Watch.
Also, here's the thing. This is what the thing that Thrones Toberfest taught me about Greyjoy. People like winning. So, like that's the best feeling in card games. And so, if you like winning, you can come around on Greyjoy pretty quick. So,
Maybe, but I haven't seen Greyjoy win recently. I understand it got a lot of cards, and it probably will, but
Well, and
One-
Greyjoy,
I don't know.
Aurora ran the field at Thrones Toberfest. They
Yeah, it was
smashed people.
stupid. Yeah.
Like it was not variance at all. Like they smashed people.
I don't
Like, they
want to
had
win in
Timeless
that
and they
way
smash
though.
people.
I want to win with skill.
right, yeah.
I mean, I think that they did win with skill. They
Right.
came up with a good. They
The
came up with a
pinch
good
of-
line.
The skill of Raider Pinch, right?
Yeah.
Raider
Right.
pinch, but and
Very
Mike
skillfully
got
placing
everybody's.
zero cost attachments.
so
Like I hate that interaction, but like you got to credit these. Like he got his whole team to play that interaction, and a bunch of us have been regents and been on Thrones War teams. It's not always easy to convince your team to play
You're
the
right.
best interactions.
Sometimes
And-
people want to play their home brews no matter.
Want to play their
You
home
try
brews
to
no matter
help 'em.
what. Like that's a skill, and the war format tests a variety of skills, not just play skill. So
True.
So I think what's interesting about Greyjoy I have is Stark, even though they haven't really proven it yet. I just don't feel like Stark has the variety of builds that Greyjoy does. Greyjoy has HRD, Crossing, Fealty, Wars, Dragon, and Greensight, but they have like 3 or 4 possible HRDs. And then they have all their different Drowned God variants on top of all their different good stuff variants. They have like at least two different crossings. Like they have just a lot of shit they could do right now.
Is Greyjoy Greensight for real? I thought it was just a meme.
I mean, no, it's a real deck. Like it's a way to play Drowned God. There's not really a consensus on the best Drowned God. They're all about the same. Sid disagrees. I'm telling you, Sid's getting.
No, that was me who made that.
No,
noise.
that was Roy. I'm agreeing.
I can
Good
make
Drowned
that
God
noise,
out of green
no
side.
problem.
Yeah, Roy, if you get
Sure, you
Greyjoy,
absolutely can do
please
that.
don't get on me.
Oh, I'm not gonna get Greyjoy, so
Oh,
fine.
interesting. Misdirection. Classic.
Leaky ship.
I'm not a misdirection person.
So
Like,
for those of us,
I'm not.
he's not saying he's
I'm
not
not
gonna bid
Sid,
on
who
him.
made me pay a lot of Jess. So
Those of
like,
us that are
I don't play that hard. I don't play that hard. So
those of us that are not regents or hands at Thrones War, can we maybe pick a top faction that we would like to be drafted for?
I mean, there's no point. We know mine.
Aaron is
We know
Martel.
yours.
Martel.
Your Targ.
Okay, maybe not our top faction. Maybe Chris's top faction and yours and my second choices.
Okay.
Aaron's is
Sorry, what am I
Targ.
supposed to answer?
My
Yours is
second
nice.
is
what faction do you want to be on, Chris?
Yep.
I mean, I'm pretty happy with any of the factions that aren't the 2 that I named before. Like, I don't really have a major favorite that I'm like, yes, I
Have
want
you
to play
played
this specifically.
Martel? Like ever?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. I love Martel.
Yes.
Do you? Do you?
Yes.
I had more respect for you, Chris, than somebody that likes Martel.
Everyone here but you and Roy like.
Yeah.
You don't like
I-
Martel, right? It's fine.
I've won a tournament with Martel, so
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I
So
should
what's
know
yours?
this, but I don't.
What's your second choice, Aaron? After
Targ.
Martel?
Yeah, Targ.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I
You
play
like
the
winning?
assault.
That is interesting. I wouldn't
I
have.
know.
I
I
would,
could play.
The Target Assault is like a Martel deck.
I play the assault or the wolf. I like. I would. Part of me just really wants to dig into that wolf and figure out what makes it tick and how to make it the best deck.
Yeah,
So,
I want to play the Targ Wolf and include all of the burn, all of the Ramsay, all of the Bolton, all of the ward, 3x everything. I'm like, fuck you.
90 cards and just be like,
Yeah.
you can't do anything.
I want to play Martel Wolf out of Targ.
Yep, exactly. I tried to build that
Martel
deck
Wolf
so
out of
hard,
Targ.
and then you know what the worst part is? I want to make that a Skagos deck so bad, so bad.
Yeah, if only there was
This
a
is
way
not
to
enough
give
Stark cards,
somebody.
right? Like,
Yeah, you can't give the Stark faction
You
to
could
anybody.
ward your own stuff, yes.
no, you
but like,
can. It says
no.
your characters
It's a-
only.
it's a
Opponent's
bonus.
characters only. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like I think for me, it's probably Night's Watch, but it's a close
Really?
second. Like I could probably I'd be happy with really any faction except maybe Lannister.
There's
and
a
Martel.
deck. There's
Roy,
a
you
deck I
can
want
ward
to
your own
play.
characters.
There's a
You
deck I
can?
want to play.
You can.
Yeah, I was 90% sure you can because then you can Skagos it to put it on someone else.
Yeah.
It's
If
amazing.
if
It's a set-
if they
it's a
force
setup
you
thing.
to go first when when they know you have ward, you can ward your own character and then Skagos if they play a character.
Exactly.
Jacob tried to do this, but I just
and you can do it after challenges because the ward is still standing.
I warded a warded character and then he Skagosed and put a new ward on it and took it back. I was so mad. So
It's
mad.
a good play.
It's a great play. But yeah, there's in everything but Barra, even sort of Barra, everything but Greyjoy, there's something I want to explore.
I really want to play Lannister, but I'm not sure my regent agrees.
What? We talked about it.
I'm like actually kind of medium on Lannister. Like they're probably third least for me just because I like winning.
If someone let me play Lanny Assault, Wolf, or Kraken, I'd be happy. Like, I'm not complaining about any of those three. I feel like
Sure.
if I could figure out Lenny's son, which I don't think I can.
Don't let Glazer work on Lannister's son.
I can't make the reverse work, and I feel like that should be better. So, who knows?
It's going to be interesting.
I can't wait for
Fun.
this draft so I can start building. I have like tentative builds for
I
happening.
already started building. I've got like 70 decks in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've built quite a few, but most of mine are for IO Worlds.
I don't have any tournaments besides War coming up because Roy hasn't told me about any sort of championships. So,
Because there aren't any store championships, so.
okay.
Yeah, do we know anything about
wait,
it?
Hey, third house. Let's do third house. Stark
Stark
is third
yeah,
because
good.
I think they only have 4 builds.
Hmm.
Sea Dragon, Crossing, and Lion. I don't know what else they do. I guess Sea.
Yeah, Sea of Blood.
Definitely.
Is,
Yeah.
I don't have C listed here. I'm sorry, I don't have C listed for anything.
so
because what it was
basically,
like.
is there any faction that doesn't have a good Sea of Blood build?
Baratheon.
Probably Sarah.
Fair. That's it. That's it.
Is there a Tyrell?
Baratheon.
Do you think Night's Watch C is actually good?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
I don't think
I
it's
like
amazing,
Night's
but
Watch.
Ranger
it's good.
C. I mean, Ranger C. I
Ranger
guess.
C, yeah.
Yeah, Ranger C. Mhm.
I mean, getting that 3-cost event for free or 1 gold is pretty good. Even
Well,
2 gold.
I've been playing Bara C, and it's really good, actually.
Is it? Well,
Yeah,
then just,
it is.
there's no
Spoilers.
house.
Shh.
Yeah.
Don't spill the beans on Barris C. Shut
I mean,
up.
it wins more than any other Bara deck I've played, but it's
Yeah.
only 2.
That is a
or
low
so.
bar, my friend.
Oh no, it is. It's definitely a low bar, but like it beats real decks.
Yeah,
Some of the
it's
some of the time.
there's a lot of I think variance in that deck in terms of what events you can put. Not variance in the like has a lot of variance. I think there's a lot of slots that you can fit cards into in the Barris C. At least in mine, there's a lot of room for tweaking.
Yep.
Which
Because the house is so bare bones, it's just like, ooh, I have
Yeah.
plenty of room for all the stuff I want to play.
Bear also has some really strong events.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of strong military icons. Like that's not a problem. Bear doesn't have an issue with military icons.
I don't know, man. The 3-cost, 6 strength, military power, like that seems pretty good with renown.
Pretty good.
It's all
I
right.
think Stark.
Wait,
I
he's
think
only
Stark,
5 strength, right?
Stark is the best C.
Oh, is he 5? Yeah, he might be
I
5.
think he's only 5 strength.
You think
Stark is
Stark's
probably
the
the best C. Well, you can mix in ice and other stuff, and it's good.
Yeah.
You don't even need the ice.
I mean, it's just they have a lot of stealth. They have a lot of military icons, and
Mhm.
puppies are good. There's just a lot of shit. They stand
I mean,
themselves
so
a lot.
does
Like,
Greyjoy. I guess Greyjoy doesn't
Ye-
stand itself.
yeah.
It does now with Euron and Silence and
And
what's
that
the
new
Maiden's Bane, or is it Golden Storm? Which is the
Maiden's
good
Bane.
one?
Maiden's Bane.
Maiden's Bane.
And all the
Fleet captain.
and the 8,000 warships that stand Vic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can stand
Pretty good.
Asha, Euron, and Vic every
So
turn.
I'm pretty,
So that
I'm
seems
pretty
good.
sure everyone has forgotten that Vic can kneel your opponent's locations because I haven't seen anyone do that in forever. He's like, I'm gonna stand him and get renowned. I'm like, you should kneel my flea bottom. I'm gonna fuck you up. Okay. Like, all right, if you don't want to do that, sure.
Martell.
Martell is 4th. I think the top
Yeah.
4 is pretty much indisputable, and I think Martell is pretty clearly 4th, a step behind the others. Wars, Wolf, Assault, Dragon, HRD, and Crossing. I think the top 3 in Martell are way better than the next 3. And Sea of Blood, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's kind of Martell's problem, right? Is they have this like really great top end, and then things fall off.
How much trouble did you guys have last year, Buzz, finding like the bottom half of the decks?
We could play 4 each deck.
Right.
We had 4 wolves.
Oh, right.
So, I mean,
That's pretty good.
it's very good.
It must have been in. I don't even remember who I played for Martell, but that just sounds like hell.
Yeah, the
I
two
played-
the
I
2
beat
agenda
him
limit
Martell.
hurts Martell this year.
That's,
Yeah.
So I'm going to just disagree. I
Really?
think they're better if they can play the top. I think there are 4 T1 Martell builds. Like real true T1.
How many?
4.
Yeah, but you need more than that with the
You
2
need
limit.
5. You need 5, right?
So why is
6.
Lannister so low
You need 6.
here?
Well, 5.5.
Yeah, right. 5.5. Okay. So,
So
like, but you could. There's enough okay-ish builds that I don't feel terrible about the bottom half. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like their bottom half is enough to win against other bottom.
So I don't understand why Glazer had ranked Lannister 7th here when the last time that this format was played, Lannister finished 2nd in a card pool that is very close to this card pool, and all the Team Lannister did was whine about how we took free folk away from them, and that was that they bought Lannister under the assumption that they would get 2 good decks from free folk. So and that 2 of them were playing Joe Mirando's Worlds deck with like 4 new cards. And they still managed to do well. So
Well,
I think Klansman, the Jesse Carpenter, he's not even here. Dream for Lannister is
Oh yeah.
New
is
Klansman card.
Sea of
Great
Blood.
box.
just Sea of Blood.
This wasn't specific to the war format. This was just my ranking of the factions. But I think Knights.
Yeah.
I like if we're doing it specifically for the war format. Terrell jumps down to second to last, but Night's Watch stays above Lannister. I think Night's Watch is better than Lannister. Night's Watch just like dude,
In the
you
format.
can like you could in the format like the Night's Watch might even jump above because like you can still just bring 8 builders and shrug.
Yeah, the
You don't
question
have to, but you can.
the question about that is whether free rolling with builders is still a viable strategy. With the fact that they're
Here, let me help you. Yes. 'Cause you're only seeing
I'm sorry. I am going to make my point though, which is that because it's almost like I've thought about this a lot. It's that location control is more valuable in the war format thanks to where the other houses are, like Targaryen, Martell, and Greyjoy are all more location heavy than they have been in the past. So the question is whether or not you can do what we did last year in free roll with builders.
So yes, you can.
Like maybe you can. Like I mean, I'm sure.
Wait, look, if someone drafts Night Watch and then drafts me and is like play builder, you're like, haha.
You can play Night Watch Wolf. Like it's not hard.
Yeah, I'll play
someone
Wolf.
gets you,
I'm pretty sure I can get a Night's Watch crack in there.
Sure. Okay, you
I
can play
don't
some
think
Night
that's
Watch
what's
attrition deck.
Like if I get drafted,
Very on brand.
I'm not playing a deck.
Spoiler alert, Regents, if you get Aaron Glazer, just let him play an attrition deck or Martell Wars, and he'll be happy and fine.
Let's find a way to get Glazer on Vera. just so he has no options.
He'll play like a Barrel Wolf. He'll play Barrel Wolf.
Barrel Wolf. It's not bad. It's not great.
That's not that attrition-y. Come on.
It's pretty
No,
attrition.
It's as attrition-y as you can make Barra. Yes, but it's
Exactly.
look,
So not very attrition.
Well, he'll play Barra Alliance Dragon, a Dragon Wolf, and
There you
have
go.
the Assassin and Banished and
Zero
Ramsey.
Vera cards. It'll just be everything else.
Well,
False
3x Banished.
Yeah, there you go.
that'd be great. Alliance and then just play Martell. Call it a day.
What do we think? I'm curious to hear from y'all, and maybe some of you can't or won't answer, but I'm curious to hear what impact you think. We talked about the 2 agendas is going to cut some houses down, but what do we think the impact's going to be on the alliance agendas counting against your banners?
It makes Martell better.
It's very good. It hurts some factions more than others. Like Tyrell would love to be able to play Dragon and Alliance Dragon.
And Banner, yeah.
Hurts Barra a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Barra could play their Dragon Rose, Alliance Dragon Rose, Alliance. Yeah.
If Night's Watch couldn't run 15 builder decks, then it would hurt them because of Cohor Dragon, Cohor Rose. Yeah.
It makes Martell so much better because Martell hates those Alliance Cohor.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't think of any faction that it helps other than Martell.
I'm not convinced that we
Targ.
would have seen a ton of those alliance builds,
Yeah,
even
Greyjoy and
if
Targ.
it was allowed. But
You would have been
Okay.
trolling there. You would have been trolling
Really?
there.
So you don't think
the
the
thing is,
cohort would
it's
have been
still
more prevalent?
it's still limited by the fact you can only run 2 alliance.
Sure, but that's 4
Right.
cohort decks instead of 2 of
but
them.
you can't sneak in
Sure.
for cohort, right?
You can't
Yeah.
sneak in 4 cohort, which like
I'm not even convinced if you could, there would be teams running for cohort.
I think there are certain factions that would
Barra.
be.
Barra and
Barra
Troll.
would
Well,
be-
maybe Barra, but I mean, are we really going to begrudge Barra a couple of
Yes.
decent
No.
decks?
Yes.
Sorry, Ryan.
Apparently
We
we
just
are.
got to continue to kick Barra.
Just
while it's
keep
down.
him
No,
down.
because you should kick Barra because you're gonna get Barra for $1.
It's
So you
look,
should
it's
I'm
a
not,
have
but
them
someone
do
it's
what
a
you want.
specific it's a specific
You might.
decision that Ryan made. This is purely my opinion, but I think Ryan made the decision to as close to soft banning the Voltron decks as like to contain them as much as you possibly can, out of the fear that they would run over the format. Like you can't do a lot of things about builders. You can't do a lot of things about some of the other like really degenerate strategies without like coming up with like a separate restricted list for the war format, which is not something Ryan's interested in. So this is a way that you can use the rules with the spirit of the format to try to cut down on some of the more degenerate things. So that would be the argument for it. I don't think that the Voltron decks are a real problem in the format compared to some of the other degenerate strategies, but cutting one end of it off is better than letting it run free, I guess.
That's fair.
But it really hurts Barra, and it hurts Night's Watch a lot.
And Terrell.
And Tyrell.
I don't think it hurts Night's Watch literally at all. They just have so many other options.
They just have builders.
Sure.
They have their
Well,
wolf decks. There's
One
new wolf.
One wolf. Well, two wolf. They have two wolf.
So you do
Wolf,
two-
you see your
so you do-
blood.
They
They
have
can
the
still
Rain
play
Steward
2 of the
Reigns.
cohort decks. Like it just means you can't do 4. It
Two
doesn't
Sea
kill
Blood, two cohort, two builders,
Steward
and
Reigns.
then you're at 8.
You have Wars to
Two
Come
crossing.
for Tamas
Crossing.
or Fealty Tamas or
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. And there's a good Night's Watch crossing. Like it doesn't exist.
Oh yeah.
Is it the
I'll send
Rangers
it
or
to my
not?
I mean, it's the gym deck too.
Yeah.
Maybe. It'd be interesting to
And
let
and
Night's Watch
the
go for it
the
this year.
last faction, even though it's definitely better than Barra, I had Freefall. Freefall's a better faction than Barra, right? Like,
Yes.
does anyone disagree with that?
Probably.
Yeah, it's a better faction than Bear.
I mean, what
Luckily
really Ryan should
not-
do is
Luckily, not
if-
war relevant.
if war really continues to grow like this, he should just make a free folk team that just
ninth
nine people who
ninth
play,
team.
Who
Ooh.
just play
I would
the
draft that.
neutral.
Fucking awful.
It sounds terrible.
Sounds
I would
amazing.
if
It would
I
be
was,
kind of cool, actually. I think.
Yeah,
if I was
you
drafted
can
to the
you can do lots of different versions as well.
Right,
I
but
was
how do you
drafted to free
enforce
folk,
that?
I'd be like,
Why would you not just run the best version 9
To
times?
keep people on
or
their toes.
15 times.
Like, yeah, we have the deck now. Yeah. Oh fuck, this guy runs song tech. What am I gonna do?
I think you could run
You
free
know-
folk and Brotherhood, but Brotherhood can only run neutral cards.
I like that.
That'd be interesting, actually. I'm actually kind of annoyed that there's no Faith Militant, like that just died. Like no
It
decks.
could be in this format, like
Barra
wouldn't be
would,
surprised.
Yeah,
Barra
I mean,
would
this
play
is
it.
Barra will
Barra
play
will
it.
play
Stark
it.
might
Might.
play it.
Stark
might
can do
play
it.
Yeah.
Especially since Stark is
Lannister
put in
might,
there and
like,
only has
there-
4 options here.
So Lannister might play it. Like, don't sleep on Lannister Faith Militant.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
Janice
let's,
won the
wasn't that
online
what Vince
league
played at
with
Solid?
Martel. Martel Faith.
Oh, I don't even
I
know
think-
what that looks like.
he's also phenomenal. I do.
It
But
was basically a Fealty deck, and he was like, "Nah, I didn't like Fealty. I want to steal power sometimes."
Fair enough. I
Alright.
guess.
Turn my
He's
big
just-
bros into a win condition.
so
That
Barra has 5 decks, right? You go Wolf, you go Alliance, Cohort Rose.
Summer.
You go HRD, Summer, and Dragon. Like that's 5 decks. They're not great, but they're good.
what is the summer? Bear Summer? What is this?
It was the best Barra at Stalek Swedish version.
Right,
by...
but is it just play big guys? Like what's the
No.
point of the deck?
So Grand Melee is a summer plot, and the interaction between Red Keep and Grand Melee is quite interesting. Basically,
Uh
play
Doesn't sound like you have to build a
mid range
deck around.
guys, new 5 cost and 4 cost guys. Yes, Sid, and and do power challenge shenanigans, basically.
So Buzz just let the goose out that their strategy is to get Barra cheap and then stack their team.
No.
That's why Sid's been playing this Barra Sea of Blood deck that
So-
wins some games.
So let's do some quick
100%
predictions
win
before we
rate.
go. Hey, let's do
Sure.
some quick
All right,
predictions.
let's do it.
So besides Barra, is there another dollar house? We're not predicting
Yeah.
for the tournament yet, right? We're just
I don't think
predicting
it's
for
fair.
that.
No, I don't. I think it's if there's another under, probably be better because I think
So
there's going
what's
to be.
the other under? Okay, so what is it?
No, I disagree with that too. Oh, go
I
ahead.
think there will be. I think there'll be two under $5 house.
I agree.
But so you don't think two regents will be bidding to avoid Dara?
Correct. I think it'll be a similar situation to Vac and Jessica.
Mhm.
So what's the other faction?
Probably
Lannister.
Lannister again.
What? Lannister again? What do you got?
Possible. It could be Lannister or Tyrell.
I don't know. Tyrell's still
I
good.
don't think we'll see Tyrell go for sub 5.
I think we could see Tyrell.
It's still
go for
got
under
a.
five.
It's. I think it's probably properly valued, maybe under 5, but I think it's still got a real strong mystique about it from the summer.
Maybe.
Is
Maybe.
there a king that's inactive enough to think that? Like the kings this year are very active players.
But here's the thing: I don't think anyone wants Barra or would be satisfied with Barra, which means
mean-
people are gonna be bidding up that perceived second worst house to have like. It's like how much is it worth it not to get Barra? Not how much is the second to last house worth?
Well, there's
Right.
also like, I mean,
That's fair.
who know? There could also be a regent that like tries the Johnny Wright strategy again. It could be Johnny again, who's willing
if
to
it's
take.
Johnny, I'll punch him in the
It's
face.
not
I'll
gonna be
Who
slap
wants
him.
to play with no, but who like wants to play with their friends, and their friends are expensive, and so they're gonna be
Fine.
willing
Stop
to
having expensive friends.
like, and they're gonna be willing to take Stark or whatever becomes the $1 house. It could be Barra, and just wants to have a team that they're gonna enjoy building with, and over metagaming the house.
I think that's possible, but I don't know that that's going to happen this year.
I mean, looking at the list of regents, I just don't see the personality that matches
Yeah,
that.
I
I
don't.
think Johnny Wright is not going to do that again. Like in talking to him,
What
I'm
about Jim
almost
Hansen? I
positive
could see
he's
Jim
going to.
Hansen drafting Barra.
Yeah, Hanson could do
Yeah,
But
has
he did it
track
also
decks.
last year, and he likes to switch things up. So he might just be like, "Well, no, I did it last year. I don't want to get stuck with him again."
That could be.
And like they weren't the perceived worst house then, you know.
They blew
and they
out
did fine
Tark.
at War, right? Naj was in
They
the
blew
cut.
out Tark.
Didn't they have two
Yeah,
or
they
three
did
people?
okay.
Yeah.
They were. I think their final standings were somewhere in the middle-ish.
Yeah, they were respectable for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and Barrett did
everyone
like
was
Vac
so
did
good
fine at Thronstoberfest. Like he was like in the middle of the pack with Barra. So like
with Alliance cohorts.
yeah. So I mean, it's not like Barra's not hopeless, but
Mm.
I
They
do
won't
think
be
that there'll be
last. I
two
don't think-
factions
Okay,
that are under
which
5.
faction goes for the most money?
Targ.
Greyjoy.
I'm not sure what
I
the
agree
answer.
with
It's a flip between Targ and Greyjoy for me.
It's gonna be Targ. Because there's gonna be a region who wants Targ. There's always a region who wants, and they always end up
Who
spending
is
more
it?
money.
Who's
than they
the
want for
regent
it.
that wants Targ this time?
It's clearly me because I plan
mean,
on
most of
spending
them.
all my money and then getting
Isn't
$1
that
players.
Neil?
If
Isn't
a
Neil
region
the
isn't
Targ?
happy to
Could be
get
Neil.
Targ, they're probably nuts, right?
But
I mean,
see,
so you
Neil.
fine with it.
Everybody thought Neil was going to go for Targaryen last year.
Middle
He
road
did though.
strat, yeah.
He
You got
did.
to remember, Neil did go for Targ. He just wasn't
Right.
willing to pay what EB paid. Like he
Right.
wanted Targ. Targ was his top faction.
I mean,
So
there's
is
also
but-
it spec?
Which is but that's a perfectly reasonable situation. Targ is still my top faction. If one of you want to give me Targaryen for $5, I will gladly take Targaryen for $5 or $10. If you want to give it to me,
No
it's
backroom deals allowed.
No, I'm not saying
This is
backroom.
Red Blue deal. It's on the air.
this is me being fucking
No one's
sarcastic because no one's going to
listening.
give me $10 Targaryen. That's perfectly fine, but it's not going to happen. So,
Sure.
like Neil's willingness to pull the parachute shows good knowledge of the format.
The only thing that annoys me is that I now have this reputation good with Targ, so there's no chance or there's very little chance that I will end up on the dark team.
That's not true.
I don't know. I just feel like
Okay, so which player goes for the most?
Aaron Glazer.
Yeah, no chance.
There it is.
Chris and or Alex.
Alex.
Chris,
Alex
which goes?
who?
Showenthal?
Black.
It wasn't. It
Okay,
wasn't
Black.
me at Jesse's tournament. It's not going to be me now. Like,
Oh, it might actually be Jesse because he's already gone for 29.
Oh man,
Ooh, interesting.
is it not? Is it not Luch?
No,
He's
Luch
already,
is
Luch
he's
is
already
ahead.
in.
Already
He's
gone for
on-
24.
He's with Alejandro.
He's with Alejandro.
They are the favorites, right? Like we can't let them get target. That's just
If they get Targ and they get me, I think they win.
Um,
Like I'll say that right now.
Showenthal's a good pick.
It's usually
Miranda is a
SoCal
good
guy, right?
pick.
is Bratz coming?
No.
Bratz isn't coming. Oh, that sucks.
So
There's only two.
Schoenthal, Bird, Alex Black,
What
I
about
think
Hansen? Is
Bird
Hansen coming?
won't go for that much.
Hansen.
No.
I
The
don't-
reigning champion.
Is Hansen coming?
Not on the list, no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Damn, no Wasa. That sucks.
Yeah, there's
Other than Jesse.
Bohan and
Oh, is
Jesse.
Bohan coming? Okay.
And
Bohan
Jesse's-
might go for
Oh
a
no.
lot.
Oh, and
Platt's
Platt
coming.
and Platt and Platt.
Platt's coming. It might be Platt.
If anyone,
if he's in the right
It
any
house.
won't be
recent
Platt.
watching this, my only request is that I go for more than Aaron.
You should.
What?
Wait. That's all I want from the war draft is I just want to go for Aaron.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go for
I
more
don't
than
think that's gonna happen.
Johnny,
I
Johnny
don't mean
Wright,
that's an
Johnny
insult.
Wright exists. Johnny Wright is a
I have
person
more
in the
tournament
region.
wins
So
than Aaron does.
That's
All
true.
right, boys. We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. I gotta cut out. We're past
All right.
my limit.
So why don't I'll wrap the episode up then? So a couple of quick things. This weekend is a big Thrones weekend. Kyburn in Indianapolis, which of course registration's closed. So if you didn't sign up for it, I'm sure CT will find room, find two other people to come with you. But that's a really exciting format. I'm really excited for CT and Indy. It's going to hopefully show off the strength of the Thompsons as organizers and Indy as a place to play Thrones besides Gen Con. So
Hey,
it's
Hansen,
sort of
Hansen is coming.
Hansen is coming. So Nick will probably be the highest paid person.
He's
Yeah,
not
Nick should
registered.
probably go.
So
there's time.
Yeah, sure.
there's still time.
But he's also a Warsaw guy, so who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, and then of course it's this channel, right, Buzz?
And
That's gonna be hosting the draft?
on Sid's channel, SoCal Thrones.
SoCal Thrones.
SoCal
You,
Thrones will have it.
It is the
may
home
have-
of the Thrones War draft, guys. We can't just switch homes.
We may have some additional commentary as well.
Oh dear.
Trolling.
No.
Oh no!
Some
As
poor
everyone knows,
quality.
Sandy is soft banned from doing commentary on any stream relating to the war format in general.
Kids
After
was so bad.
it was
It was
nigh
rough.
unwatchable. Poor Ben.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bless his heart.
Hey,
So
also-
don't watch Missing the Cut.
if
is what I'm
anyone
trying to
if
say.
anyone wants to message me when I get drafted, that'd be great.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
We will. We will.
You're not gonna watch, Aaron?
I'm going to.
I'll,
I'm
I'll,
not gonna.
I'll
it's a
FaceTime call you.
You're not gonna Twitch it
can-
from the concert? Like,
concert. I wouldn't be able to hear, would I?
I'll Facebook Live you. You can be on Missing the Cut. Man. You can
I
talk
mean,
about
again,
talk shit
at
about
a
players.
concert. At a concert.
That fits
Alright,
again.
fine.
Sandy's
That's
level.
that's about what people expect from Missing the Cut is random
Alright.
concerts and bars.
So anyway, tune in 5 p.m. Right?
noon
California
Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern.
3 p.m.
Yeah.
3 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Google.
3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Buzz, that's like 2 in the morning. So I'm just teasing.
It's
He's
But
a fan,
anyway,
he'll be there.
2100 actually.
That's all
Hey,
nice.
how does
this
how
is a-
does
Go ahead.
how does the draft work with hands? Like, how do they affect the draft? Besides-
They've already been priced.
They've already been debited.
Wait, no,
yeah,
but
from
like,
the
how do they
total.
affect during the draft? Are they like helping the draft? What does
Yeah,
that
yeah,
mean?
of course they're
Yeah.
helping the draft.
Depends on what the
They can
region
have-
wants. It's up to the
Yeah.
region, right? If Roy is
it's-
like,
it's-
Jesse's a way better drafter than me, Jesse drafts. Sure.
I mean,
Uh,
Jesse's a way
I'll
better
have-
backroom
I'll
deal
have like
maker than
4
everyone.
hands with me on missing a cut. By the way,
Oh, I know this was my
Hey,
entire
guys.
2018, but I successfully drafted a winning team all by myself. So
True.
I'm just saying.
Also, hey guys, is Colt going? Is Colt going?
I don't think any of Humberts are
No.
going.
No.
Well, yeah, but Colt is a
Over
good
Humbert.
Humber. So, like,
all the Humberts are fine.
no.
like,
At
in that
Thrones,
format.
Colt. No. Okay. Let's not be like. Look, Storm's a good player. Colt's like an unreal player.
Yeah,
and
Colt's
Colt
No
would be
Humbert
like
is
one of my
going.
picks for.
no
Yeah, he would have
Humbert
been
is
one of
going.
my picks for most expensive player. That's why I was asking. Okay. Because like he.
All right.
yeah,
The send off's taking
Alright.
too long. I'll see you guys
I
later.
think I think Miro will be the most
Bye.
expensive player, to be honest. But yeah,
Who?
All right. Who?
Mira.
Oh.
Yeah,
No.
Bird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so, but we'll see. I would
I
be
think-
happy to be wrong.
I think they're in competition for it. So
Cool. See everybody Sunday morning,
Then
noon,
we'll be back in
afternoon,
2 weeks.
whenever it is.
back in 2 weeks.
There'll probably be
Maybe.
Our draft
2 weeks
breakdown
at
or
Iowa
Prairie Dry
Worlds?
Box or something.
Are we gonna have an Iowa Worlds?
Oh,
edition?
Chris.
Yeah, we could do a live stream from Iowa Worlds. There's gonna be at least 3 of us there.
Who's the
You,
third?
me and
Oh,
Jesse.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesse, right. Jesse
Yeah, I
goes
wish you
together.
could go. Iowa Worlds is the weekend after the draft, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean January is pretty stacked, so we will see everyone soon.
All
I'll
right.
probably stream on Saturday. So
I guess.
See you on Sunday.
bye.